Okay, yo. Does it sound fucked up now? Up now. Hello? Up now. Please. Up now. Please. Damn, I fixed it. Damn, I fixed it. All right, yo, finally. My bad, yo. Yeah, so basically what happened was the mic was fucked up because I don't know, maybe magnets or something. So I gotta fix that after stream. It was working fine on Friday. I haven't switched anything up, so I don't know what's going on with that. But then the Go Accelerator app didn't work. The Go Accelerator app started to act up, and it was crashing. So I had to close that up. It didn't close. I tried to hard restart it. You go on Task Manager and Task, still didn't work. I'm like, you know what? There's only one way to fix this, and that's restarting the PC. In terms of the mic, I don't know how it got fixed. I guess it naturally just got fixed. But yeah, bro. Anyways, we're good to start now. Yeah, I think it should be good now. Let me just go ahead and change this up a little bit. But yo. All right, yeah, that should be good. All right, yo. Let's get started here, man. Anyways, chat. That was a good morning coffee, basically. I was gonna wake up. That's where I'm getting a Mac. I have a Mac, bro. I'm not gonna stream on a Mac though. How much do we have in here? 277. All right. Let me just copy and paste the link again, chat, and then we'll get started. All right. On Twitter. My bad, yo. Yo, Rez, are you here? Copy this. I got it. All right, yo. We can finally start. Don't worry, chat. It's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be like a 2-hour session. All right. So we have lots of time. For free. To go crazy today with questions. I'm basically going to be going over just a lot of the technical stuff. So last time we're on, went over a bit of psychology, but this week I'll say it's more of just price action stuff. Like if you have any concerns or questions about like pineapples, liquidity, stuff like that, right? So yeah, feel free to ask anything. It's just regarding price action, I'll say today, and just a strategy in general. Okay. This is live. All right, sick. How long before the market's open, bro? The market's don't open until tomorrow, man. That's a long time. Or no, I lied. What am I saying? It opens in 5 hours. It's Sunday today, right? For some reason, I thought it was Saturday. Yeah, it opens in 5 hours. Um, I gotta play music. Be quiet. All right. Anyways, let's get started. So, how long before, okay, I read that. Could you define liquidity? So, liquidity just, honestly, it just, there's different ways to view it and describe it. Some may see liquidity as, like, for instance, a top wick, a bottom wick. Some may see liquidity as an area where price will grab orders before driving in a different direction. Some will see liquidity as support and resistance. So it comes down to how you see it and how you view it. The way I see the markets are all the same. Like all those strategies, all those different ways of defining it. At the end of the day, the market is just printing what it needs to print in order to drive into a direction. That's how I see it. So when I look for, like, for instance, liquidity, right? There's not much that I really do when looking for liquidity. It's honestly just in terms of structure. It's structure and support and resistance, right? So for instance, if I'm like, fuck, I gotta send the Zoom link. My bad. Let me just send this real quick. Sorry, chat. It's a mess today, but just bear with me because it's the first couple streams into the new crib, and there's a lot of things that I gotta just fix, like stuff like this, you know, like the mic stuff. So after, like, you know, 2-3 streams, everything should be normal and good to go, and we shouldn't have any problems. But I'm just sending my Zoom link, and then I'll resume that question. True. Zoom links. Zoom links. All right, there you go. All right, yeah. So in terms of liquidity, the way I see it is just support and resistance and market structure. So for instance, like right now on price, right? Typically what I'll look for are, it might sound weird, but just naked areas on chart. So right now, like let's say we're looking at current price, and let's go to somewhere random, like maybe here. I don't know what's going on here, right? Where are we? Where is price sitting? Right there. All right, cool. So in this situation here, right? If I am looking for liquidity to be tapped and to be grabbed, there's only a couple things that I'll say I'll wait for. So first thing is I'll go ahead and draw my support and resistance first off, right? So just straightforward, support and resistance, I'll draw my support right here. Why would I draw right there? Well, because if you look at price here, you're gonna notice that there's a lot of rejections within these areas here, right? There's a lot of rejections here, rejections here, rejections here, rejections here. And some of you guys are probably asking, well, Don, why can't I draw my support a little higher than you? Why isn't your support here instead? Or why isn't it here? Oops. Why isn't it up here instead? Why is it down there? It's down here because if I were to be in a position to look for sells, or in a situation to look for sells, I wouldn't want to take sells below, let's say, the first area here, and the second area is, the first area is here, second area is right here, and third area is right here. So I wouldn't want to take sells below the blue line, because if this is my support, I understand that, okay, cool, we can close below here, but once you close below here, you may still reject off the green level. So why would I want to be in a position to look for sells below the green zone when I can just wait for sells below the yellow zone, right? Because I take sells here, I'm tapping to this, I gotta worry about this green zone. I take sells below the green zone, I gotta worry about the yellow zone now. I want to take sells below the cleanest traffic possible. And in this case, anything below this area is clean. There's nothing stopping price after you break below 1933. So that's where I'll draw my support, right? So support is right there, straightforward. Let's go ahead and go over here to this tool, right? Rectangle tool there, support. And then my resistance on price now is like over here at 1942.475. So this is my resistance, that's my support. This is the range now I would say we're considered to be in. And if I'm in this range here, right? So now I determined the range. I determined what area I got to focus on price. Now what's next is determining what areas price could tap into to, one, create a lower high, or two, create a new lower low, right? But I'm just looking at areas to see where we can reject off of to drive down. So I missed a key point, but the first thing is I'm looking to see what's the bias, right? So there's a huge difference between the daily bias and the small time frame bias, obviously, but you have to understand what time frame you're trading it off of, right? So this is when I tell you guys all the time, like, it's okay to take sells when you're bullish for a day. It's okay to take buys when you're bearish for a day, vice versa, right? That's totally fine. But you have to understand what part of the cycle you're in, because the daily could be bullish, but the lower time frame could be bearish. That might just mean the lower time frame is creating a higher low, right? As it's creating a higher low, you could get in position. There's nothing in the rule book of Forex that says you can't take a position against the daily bias, right? That main follow the bias thing is just a general rule of thumb on Instagram. That's the shit you hear on social media all the time. But when you understand what part of the cycle you're in, you could take any type of direction, any type of trade you want to take, right? So your doors are open to that. Like there's no need to close your doors to that at all, right? So in this case, it looks like the day is bearish as well today, right? So it's easier to look at. But on the 15-minute time frame, you can see the bearish structure. The structure is bearish, right? You're starting to push down here, and all of a sudden you start to consolidate. So you had this main push down to the left here, right? So you had this push down here. By the way, don't worry about this. You don't need to worry about this at all. Anything here to the left is irrelevant. All you gotta look at is current price. So this is your main focus right here, right? And what happened prior. So what happened prior was we came down pretty bearish here and came down to create a support at 1933. Now you came down and now you're starting to create a range. You're starting to create a range in this yellow zone here, right? So now pretty easy. This becomes an area of, let's say this is your new advantage point, for instance. Now this is your new support. This is a level where price create a range at, and this is an area where price likely will struggle at before it decides on where it wants to go next, right? So in case you guys forgot, the question here was how to find liquidity, right? So look, you found the bias for a day, you found the range for a day. If you understand the bias is bearish today, what is a scenario that could possibly happen today? Because understand this, price can't just reverse all of a sudden without grabbing any orders, without grabbing any liquidity, without creating any lower wicks. It's very rare. I'm sure it does happen sometimes, time to time, especially when there's news that comes out, but it's very rare for price to just flip bullish and drive up like this. Like, when do you ever see that? Very rarely, man. Very rarely. What you'll see before, like, you can still get the reversal, but what you might see before is you might see something like this first. What's this called? Let's see who pays attention in the streams. What's this called, chat? You guys know this, I believe. If you can believe, you can achieve. Like, what's my bad, let me highlight it out. What's this called? Here we go. This pink zone here. Liquidity slash what? Like, what is that exactly? Like, on a candle, bottom wick. There you go, Lisa, congrats. Yeah, so bottom wick, right? So that's called a bottom wick. So that's what you'll likely see before price were to even reverse, right? That's what you'll likely see. It's very rare you'll just see it push up with no bottom wick. Very rare. Now, if that's a scenario that could happen on price, right? If that's a scenario that could happen on price, then what's another scenario that can happen on price? Because we're talking about if price were to reverse or now. We're talking about in a situation where price were to reverse and drive the other way, what could happen? But let's say now price drives with the bias down. What could happen in that case? I wish I can let you guys draw here, but maybe later when we have more attendees in the Zoom, I'll let them draw on the screen shit. But what's so that's scenario number one. Scenario number two is what? That's if price were to reverse. If price were to drive down with the trend, what could happen now? A top wick, right? There you go. Congrats, Moda Velagis. I don't even know how to pronounce that right. Yeah, so here, if price were to drive down now, you'll see a top wick, right? And in most situations, when you see the top wick, you will likely see price break the previous highs. So in this case, remember, the bias is bearish. Your top of the range is here. Your bottom of the range is here. This is one massive range you're in. So let me go ahead and just delete this and make this maybe yellow. It's easier to see. And remove this. Maybe I can make this like red or some shit, so you guys can actually see the candles coming down. All right. So, oh shit. So you have this now. You have the bias move or bearish move, and then you have a range. And now you understand that this up here is your high, right? This right here is your high, and then this right here is your low. This is the range you're in. So if price were to create a top wick, it could be anywhere in this yellow box technically, right? But typically what will happen is a fake out might happen. So in this case, you'll see something like this. You'll see a account create a top wick to drive down to retest the lows, right? And the top wick usually I'll say would be the most recent minor resistance. So if this delete trade is taken, all right, bro. If this is your resistance up here to the left, right? And this is your next minor resistance, I'll say in this area to the left, because anything above here, clean, 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 all of a sudden run into some traffic, right? Traffic right here. This is like your next minor resistance level. So I'll say if price were to be in a situation to drive down, that's likely where price will tap into before making that push down to continue with the bearish trend. So in this situation, if price was bearish, what I'll look for is I'll look for wick entries here. I'll look for wick entries 1, because going back to the first scenario, we understand that no matter where price goes now, even if price were to drive up, because we already determined what could happen if price were to drive up, it must come down and create a bottom wick. Where was that bottom wick area? That bottom wick area was the bottom of the range. It was in this green zone right here. Remember that? Right? So let me draw it back for you guys. But I drew a candle looking like this. And I said before driving up, you need a bottom wick. So we understand that scenario number 1, you need a bottom wick. Let me draw it to the left side so it's easier. Scenario number 1, you need a bottom wick. Scenario number 2, you need a top wick to drive down. As price comes up, you have an advantage point now. You have an advantage point. That advantage point is that no matter where price goes, you're going to see a bottom wick at 1933, right? Or worst case, what also could happen is you might see a bottom wick, for instance, right around here. So let's say you get a bullish candle outside the range, right? Instead of like coming down to create a bottom wick at 1933, it might just end up doing something like this, right? And that's fine as well. But if you're looking for wick entries in this box here, you have an advantage point from basically here to here, from 1948 to 1944. So let's see what happens here. Let's play price and see what happens here. But you have those 2 scenarios now, and now you understand that, okay, cool. No matter where price goes, 1, worst case, you get a break-even trade at 1942. 2, worst case, you get a bottom towards 1933, right? But that's what you're looking at right now in price. And that's what I would say my liquidity level is. I'll look for price to grab orders or to grab liquidity at the next minor resistance up here at 1948. Take sells there, because worst case, if price were to drive up, at least it'll come down towards 42. You'd be break even, closing half, maybe closing full, who knows? And then again, if it runs, it ends up running down to retest the lows. But this is a range 1 fake out, right? So let's play price and see what happens here. It might not even come up to create a top wick, but if it does, that's where our entry will be. All right, pause. So price didn't come up to create a top wick. This is when you adapt to price. Like Friday's trade. We were looking for sells the whole day, right? All of a sudden, we closed above the range. I'm like, yo, fuck that shit. We're taking buys now. Why? Because you have to adapt the price. Price ended up closing up bullish above the range. In this case, price came down first, right? If price came down first and it didn't create a top wick in 1942, you taking a wick entry at 1948 now becomes a problem. Because if you were to be in a situation right here to say, let's say you were to take sells here, right, at 1948, you came down and created a bottom wick first. What this could mean is the first scenario, right? What was the first scenario? The first scenario was that at any given point, if you come down tap 33 first, you can just push up like this. So this could still happen. So if you were to take sells at 1948, you gotta be very cautious, because now there's a higher chance that price will likely break above 48 rather than reject that 48, right? So I can't take sells here. I can't take sells here. I have to just watch price, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is, you know? Let's go ahead and play it. Right, so it came down, broke the lows first. Now pay attention to how it reacts off of 48. If there wasn't this here, you're gonna see a strong rejection. But since you have a bottom wick like this right now in price, there's a high chance that when price comes up to tap 48, it's gonna likely break it and drive up towards 54 next. Right, so again, you have to adapt the price. So let's go ahead and draw this resistance here for now, just to determine where we gotta close above in order to take buys. But yeah, look, you kind of had a range here. You came down, broke the lows, you grab orders, you create a structure, and now you're coming back up to retest the highs. So pay attention here to how price looks at this resistance at 48. Okay, so rejected. Let's see if it holds, right? It's struggling there still. I wouldn't take buys just yet too. Here's what I'll do now. Now we have this range here. This is a range, right? So what I'll wait for is, in order to take my buys, I'll prefer to wait for a bottom wick. So if price ends up doing something like this, where it breaks below 1942, that's where my entries will be at, right? I wouldn't take buys here because whenever price just drives up like this, at any given point, it could just be a talk to drive down still. You gotta be open to that idea. The bias is still bearish for a day, right? But if you create structure now, you create support here, you create a resistance here, you break the lows but still respect 1948, right? Because for all I know, a candle, as long as it closes respecting 42 now, is valid. If it closes below 42 like this, then that's invalid. It could even be a bearish candle looking like this for all I know. But as long as it closes respecting 42, this is still a valid support, right? So again, I'll wait for a bottom wick to be tapped at 42, and then in worst case, take buys back above 48 in this situation. I wouldn't take buys here because at any given point, you know, again, this could still happen, right? But yeah, I like to see this level get tapped right around, I'll say here. That would be ideal. What time is this? This is pre-London. Okay, cool. The London session here. 8 a.m. right there. Look at that. Where did that tap into? The yellow zone. Why? Because price now had to create a low before coming back up to retest the highs. And it tapped it perfectly. No indicators, but right there, that's a perfect example of one, adapting the price, and two, how to find liquidity, right? Because at one given point, we're like, okay, well, we gotta look for sells coming down. Then price didn't do that, it came down first. So now we're like, okay, well, that might be liquidity to go back up. Price came down, grab liquidity, and you see how I said don't take sells at 1948 now because structure has changed. I'm sure you could have taken sells here, maybe it adapted to this, but is that really what you wanted to grab? When you can have this pull over here to the left, right? So came down, grab the bottom wick, right? Why did I wait for a bottom wick there? Because now price has to grab orders to go the opposite way. At first, we're looking for sells from 48 down to grab orders, right? But since price came down first, we're looking for the same thing to occur here, which is just break the lows to drive up because the structure is now starting to shift. So that's how you kind of adapt to price. That's what you should be doing to price. It's not just what's the bias down, bullish or bearish, right? And that's why, again, during my streams, my analysis is always changing throughout the stream because I gotta adapt to current price action. And with candles that close, things might change, right? But yeah, that's like a perfect example. Obviously here in this situation, one, yes, you could have taken a wick entry. Your advantage point was to retest the highs at 48 because going back to this here, same scenario, the scenario we had earlier. If price were to drive down, you wouldn't just see price come down like this. You would have to see the break of the highs first before driving down. It's very rare where price drives like this. It's very rare. If it does, then it does. It is what it is. You're not part of the move anyways. That's not what you're looking for, right? But if price comes up, breaks the highs, and then drives down, sure, there's a higher chance that price will likely have to continue down to retest the lows, right? So if you understand that, this is your advantage point now at 1948, if you were to take wick entries at 41 here, right? Let's say you were to get in bias here. You understand that, okay, worst case, price doesn't drive up. It drives down instead. At least you have this range to take advantage of. You can have this, and then this top wick might be your exit point. You might be out with profit like this. Worst case, price doesn't drive up, right? But if price does drive up, obviously then it'll run up your position and you'll be good to go for that entire runner. But that's a perfect example right there of, again, liquidity and just adapting the price. Let me try to find one more example, right? Let me try to go somewhere random. Let me close my eyes here. All right, right here. All right, so this right here, this is interesting. All right, cool. So what's step one, chat? Let's see who pay attention. All right, what's step one? Step one of what we did earlier. We're gonna repeat the same steps in this situation. Matter of fact, let's have someone on Zoom come on. Let's see here. Let's see, who wants to come on Zoom here? Not you, Wix. You're too advanced for this. Not you, Elvis. Too advanced. Someone who doesn't participate much, but wants to give it a shot. No, the chat won't blame me. Don't worry. We're all trying to learn and get better, anyways, right? Sign me. Anyone else? Oh, Mike. Oh no, again? Oh hell no. Oh no, again? No, it's good. You trolling, bro. You trolling. Anyone on Zoom? Jacob? Yo, Jacob, what's up? No pressure though. You know, if you don't want to, it's all good. But Kieran recommended you, so. I don't know if Jacob's here though. He might just be watching. I don't know if Jacob's here. He might just be having the Zoom on and sleeping again. Waiting for, all right, I'll wake him up. All right, chat, get in position here. Ground some buys. Let's see if he wakes up. All right, anyone else? I don't know if Jacob's here, bro. Anyone else? Okay, there he is. All right. No pressure, Jacob. You know, like if you don't want to do it, no worries, bro. I understand it.
Did Jay not do it? They don't want to do it?
Okay, we have another problem here. Talk again. My bad.
Yo.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on, bro?
What's up, bro?
Bro, they nominated you. Do you want to do it or
yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just gonna ask you questions. I'm gonna like kind of run it through you, but like just slowly one at a time, you know. So I'm gonna ask you just start off just in this situation here, right? If I were to pay attention to this zone here, right? Where would my resistance be on price? Here, let me turn annotations on. Oh yeah, it's on. You should be good now. So where would you draw your resistance on price there?
Hold up. Say I draw my resistance like up here.
All right, cool. All right, so yeah, that's actually perfect. But why would you draw it there though? Because this is like what's better is understanding why you're drawing it, where you're drawing it. So where would you draw it? Like why would you draw it there in this case? You did it perfectly, but why?
Well, I say we're probably bullish for the day, right? Just based on how we're looking. So, well, why I drew it there? Because like what levels I'm looking at? Just
Yeah,
this.
like what rejection areas you're looking at?
Can you see my cursor?
You gotta draw first. I can't see your cursor, but you gotta draw.
Like kind of this level, this.
All
Those
right.
are all like points where we rejected off.
All right. Cool. All right, sick. All right, perfect. So leave that. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and mark up where you drew it. So I'm gonna mark it up here, right? That's where you wanted it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So where would this might be a little tricky, but where would your support be?
I say, well, I would look first my like major support probably like right here, and then I would say you have another support like probably like somewhere in these levels.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's actually perfect. Yeah, you drew support right here. That's where I'll draw it to, 1913. So I'm just gonna confirm that right there. All right, cool. So that's my resistance. This is my support. That's where you have it, right? Okay, so if that's your current range you're in, what is, like, for instance, what is price doing right now within the range? Like, what did it do prior to making that push back into the range? What's that called?
Fake out.
A fake out, right? Yeah, so you want to highlight the fake out just so they know. Yeah, Jay isn't paying attention, man. Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, you came down, you broke all the lows, which was where you drew support at, and then you kind of broke back into range. Let me go ahead and just put this earlier because you drew your support here too. All right, cool. Yeah, so that's a fake out. So what would you expect to happen within a fake out now? Like if
Price
you,
to keep on
yeah, go on.
pushing up.
Keep on pushing up. Perfect.
Yeah.
Where would you look to target price at in the fake out?
Mm. Cause like how we look right now, I say we probably need like a bottom wick and then or just to fill the top of the
Wait,
range.
step by step. Like where would you? Yeah, exactly. You said it right there. Fill the top of the range, right? But where would that top of the range be? Like where would you draw that at? Or where
Just
would
up
you?
here too, right? I would say still up here.
Perfect.
922.
Perfect. Yeah, so you had the fake out. Now the idea is that you should be able to come up now to fill top of the range exactly where you had it. So let's go ahead and draw that right here. You drew it over here, right? Right around there? Like in
Yeah.
that zone there. Perfect. So you had the fake out. You're expecting buys up. What would you do now? So now you have the ideal target of where price could be headed. Where would you be in a position to take like what would your entries be here? Like what are the possible scenarios for entries here? Like is it a wick entry? Is it a flip of a candle? What would you look for here now? Like what's next? Would you look for liquidity to be grabbed here? You know?
I would say I would look for something like liquidity, maybe like right at this time. Maybe like at these levels, cause like just rejections like right here,
Oh fuck, yo, I
right
missed a
here.
step. I'll make it easier for you. My bad. My bad. Just within the current range. So you had an overall range and marked up at 22, you marked up at 1903 or 1913, 1903. But within the current like price area, like where price is right sitting right now, where is your most recent resistance, your most recent support? Let me
Most
go ahead.
recent resistance like here, and then most
No,
recent
like
support.
current price. Like where like in this area, where would your support resistance be on price? Like, this is key too. My
Um,
bad, this area. Just pay attention to this. That whatever's in that red box. Like where would you draw your resistance support at?
like right here, and then up here.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there. That's perfect. So if that's the range you're in, right? In order for price to drive up now to fill the target, what would you likely need now? Like where would you look for liquidity to be at? Remember how earlier I went to the example of where I'll find liquidity, right? Where would you find liquidity now within that minor range?
At
And
these levels, right?
yeah, around that area, I'll say maybe a little lower. Remember how I said how you likely will not have to break the lows first, but in general, yeah, tapping like that area 1913, that should be good enough. So yeah, I'll look for a bottom wick between like 1914, 1913 within like this green box here, right? So if that's what I'm looking for now, what could you possibly take? Like what are your options now for buys going up to retest that 22?
Mm,
Like what two plays in the playbook or plays that you have in your playbook would you write up or potentially draw out and to look for?
you could get the. I was saying you could take a wick entry right there, and then once you, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting lost right here.
Oh, you said it fine. You said it good. You said you look for a wick entry there, right? Because
Yeah.
remember how we said we need to grab liquidity, right? And we said how
Hmm.
liquidity needs to be grabbed on the breakout lows. So in this case, like where that green zone is, like if this is my range I'm in, I would likely want to see liquidity being grabbed on the breakout lows. So my scenarios on price could one be just a bullish candle coming up like this, right, with a bottom wick, or my scenario number two is a bottom wick, and then all of a sudden you get a closure above, and maybe you can get a flip of an entry, right? But like those are your potential scenarios now, right? Because the idea is just you're gonna go up towards 922. That's what you're targeting. So it's just how is price gonna get there? Will it create a bottom wick first? Will it not? Right? So those things will matter. So let's see how price plays here. Um, let's go ahead and just draw this minor resistance over here to the left, and a minor support to the left here. Let's see what happens here. 1913, didn't break the lows, didn't break the highs, still in the same range. There's the tap. All right, so I guess you came down, tapped it, and then you started close above the range. When you close above the range like this, I couldn't pause it in time, but whenever you close above the range like this, after grabbing the bottom wick, remember I drew earlier, I said how now you can just take the flip. This would have been your entry probably, right? On the flip, and then your target would have been up here, and your stop loss probably would have been, I don't know. I was saying this situation, maybe like below this wick or something. So I'll be in a trade similar to this. Probably, something like that, I'll say. But that's the idea. And then you probably break even now because price ran up and that was a bottom wick. But yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly how I'll do it. And let's see if it runs here. Yeah, it ran, fill the range, right? So you had the idea of like to make it simple and straightforward.
I think I just kind of got lost when I was looking for like thinking about like the scenarios of what price would do. But once you drew it out, I kind of like
Yeah.
it all comes back to me. Like I think it's just a matter of
Yeah, because you go back
like
to the playbook. You have the playbook, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like once you came down and here, this would make like this would I would for sure take interest here. You could either wait for this. You could take a bottom. You could take a like this was basically our trade on Friday. Like right here, we had entries like this. Right, we took the bottom like here. That was basically a trade on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, that was exactly the trade on Friday. Wait for a bottom wick.
And that's just like you said. It's just a breakout, right?
Yeah, it's just a breakout at the end of the day. This was a breakout too. I honestly, I would have taken this, but in this situation, I don't think so. I think I would have waited for a bottom wick a little steeper. To be honest, I would have in real life. I probably would have been like, I needed a bottom wick to tap into this zone, and then taking a wick entry there. But I wouldn't have taken this. This was not enough for me of a bottom wick. But the idea was that it must come down, grab liquidity first before driving up. And in this situation, that's exactly what I did, right? So all you did was one, you figured out what was happening on price. That's step one. What's happening? What are the potential scenarios here, right? In this case, you had a fake out back into the range. That's a huge giveaway now, right? Price already did all the work. You don't gotta do anything now. All you gotta do really is wait for your entry because price printed you the direction it was headed into. Price is literally telling you where it's going, right? After grabbing all those orders down here at 1903. So you understand that it has to push up now towards 22. And if it doesn't push up towards 22, worst case, if it were to drop down, it's got to create a top of 22 anyways. So that's your new advantage point. Now it's just about, okay, how can I get buys in towards 22? Then you go to your playbook. This is where you kind of got confused, but that's okay. You draw your onions, fake outs, breakouts, right? And then you look for those setups to go up towards the bias or towards the direction, and that's it. That's your trade. So it's pretty straightforward when you break it down like that, and that's the approach you kind of want to have every day in the charts. When it comes to finding liquidity and that stuff. But yeah, Jacob, good shit.
Cool.
You got all of it good. I think the only part was you got confused, but again, just review the playbook.
The entries.
Yeah, just review the playbook because you have that. You have the playbook, no? You have the mouse pad, right?
Yeah.
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 So,
And then also too, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Like sometimes when you're going through, even right now, like when you're explaining like liquidity or like stuff like this is new, like I think it makes a lot of sense when you're like, okay, but this is also just a range two breakout, or this is just range one, range two.
yeah. Yeah, it makes it a little simpler to just read.
Or just to connect the two, I would say.
Yeah. Because it also helps with the fact that like sometimes you can't always be trading, right? Like when you understand that like earlier on when we were waiting for a bottom wick here, we understand that we can't take any trades until we get the bottom wick. Once we get that bottom wick, we can start hunting for trades now because that bottom wick brings what? It brings liquidity. It brings volume, right? So once you tap those levels, price will start to move. You will see it move. Now it might not move in the direction you want it to move into, but it will definitely move. But anything before that tap, you want to wait. You want to stay out of because it's a very awkward zone to be in. Like you taking buyers or sellers here, anything can happen here, right? So you want to see where it taps first, where it moves first, and then once it taps those zones, you want to have your positions. But yeah, bro. Let's see what else we can ask next. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate you. Let's see. Let's go to a random area here.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, bro. Of course. Let's see. Let's do one more. One more of these. Honestly, my mic's dying here. I don't know how to charge it. I know how to charge it, but I don't know how to use it at the same time because I don't have one mic with me. Unless I have earphones. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. You know what? I think it's fine. I can stream with no mic as long as I ask people to come on now so I can hear them, and then later on just go solo mode because I don't need to hear you guys afterwards, right? So let's just do it now before my mic dies. Wait, any questions about that? Why can't you take buys on liquidity grab at the bottom? You can, but in this situation, I said how I was gonna look for a bottom wick to tap into this zone here. There's no bottom wick here. I would wait for a bottom wick to tap this zone before taking a wick entry. I wouldn't have taken this here, but this is, I mean, it was doable, right? But personal preference, I would have waited for just this to get tapped. So for me, it was either a bottom wick or a breakout. In this case, it just broke out, and that was it. Once you had the breakout, that was pretty straightforward. Anything else? But sometimes price does not take liquidity and pushes up. Are you still breakout? If it just pushes up without liquidity, we stay out. I'm out. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking for trades. I'm not looking for positions. I just want to look. I want to pay attention to where price is headed, but I'm not going to be taking positions towards that target area. So I might just be in a situation to say, you know what? I'm not getting in here. I'm staying out. Fuck it. It is what it is. Price might draft 400 pips. It is what it is. It'll be another day of trading at the end of the day, right? You don't need to force yourself to take positions when things aren't aligned for your analysis. So whenever price doesn't like form what you want to form, don't question it. Just be like, you know what? I'm out. I don't know what's happening here. You heard me say it before. I've said I can't read price right now, and that's it. Like, there's nothing more to it. You kind of just gotta, avoid it or not get in. Why can't you focus on the 15, 30-minute time frame charts when trading hours? It's more clear and clean. I use every time frame. There's no such thing as this is cleaner than that. It's all the same shit. You have to understand to read all the time frames. So you have to understand all the time frames from the 5 to the monthly time frame. It's all the same shit. It all prints a high, all prints a low, all prints a wick, all prints a closure, all prints an opening. Those things all print. So therefore, there's no such thing as cleaner. That's just a myth that you hear on Instagram. This is some shit you hear, on your explore page. Yo, tier 1, thanks for that, Mo. Appreciate it. Yeah, I use every time frame. Now, I don't just use one time frame, right? I don't just use the 5. I might use the 5 with the 15, or the 5 with the 1 hour, or the 5 with the 4 hour, right? Because the higher time frame prints me at the direction, and the smaller time frame prints me the entry. So I'm using the higher time frame to find direction, which in this case we've used I think the 30 or something to look for the fake out, and then the 5 entry to look for wick entries to go up towards that target area. Yo, member Mo, yeah, Irish said thanks for tier 1, appreciate you. All right, yo, let's have somebody else on the Zoom. Yo, Wix, lower your hand. We know you got the answers. You're too good for this stuff. Let's see. Okay. Wait a minute, why is it so quiet? What's the worst order flow? I don't trade order flow, so I'm not too sure what that question means. Yo, tier 2, thanks for the member, appreciate you, man. Tier 2, Rocky. Thank you, Rocky. All right, anyone on Zoom want to go next? Let's go. Let's go down one. Down one. Don Juan or Don Juan, let's see, or does Huston here, Kieran, Husky. All right, let's do Don Juan. This is good too because like it helps you see how, like, if you're confused, like for instance, you hop onto the stream, you kind of say it out loud to everybody. It kind of helps you understand your analysis a little better too, because sometimes you might do your analysis alone on your solo dolos, on your ones, right? And it might like you're just saying shit, right? But when you say it out loud, you'd be like, does that really make sense, or am I just saying shit, right? So when you say it out loud, you do a step by step like that on stream, it helps for sure for your analysis. It helps you understand yourself a little better. All right, let's go. Let's go Don Juan.
What's happening, man?
What's up, bro? Go ahead. All right, yo. You guys hear him? Yo, yo.
Yo.
All right. I hope you don't mind.
Nah, I'm cool on the pressure.
Yeah, because I know you have some solid questions too. So, all right. Let's go find a random scenario. We're gonna do the same shit that we did with Jacob. I'm just gonna have you do it this time. All right, let's go here. Oh, this might be a little tricky. Not gonna lie to you. Go somewhere a little simpler. Right there. All right, right here is perfect actually. All right, yo. So, can you draw? Yeah, you can draw. All right. What would, in this situation here, what would you consider this bias being? Step one.
The bias.
The bias.
The bias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just from the structure is bearish.
Bearish. Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, it's bearish because you've came down from here, right? You've came down from up here, and the structure is just coming down. So yeah, it's pretty bearish. All right, now in terms of, so now you figure out the bias, it's bearish. You're looking for mainly sells right now, right? In this situation, where would you draw your resistance support?
Top of the range, bottom of the range, the low and the high right there.
All right, sick. Yeah. So, oh shit, I moved it. Yeah, right here, and right here. Cool.
Correct.
All right.
So minor support.
Yeah, go ahead. Your minor support too.
I would measure. Okay, I'm talking.
You want to look left more? Or you're good? You might be good.
Yeah, I'm just going off current price. Depending on the range from here to here, because I can't measure that. I would pick one of the lows here. I don't if that's a. Can you measure the range difference? But
yeah, I got you. Wait, from here to this line to this line?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 30 pips. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I'll put my first minor support at where my lines are at.
So we put one over here.
Correct.
And you put the second one down here.
Correct.
All right, cool. All right. Now, what would your options be here for sells? Like, what would you look for here? Or would you look for liquidity here? Or you wouldn't?
So I'm gonna just be 100% honest. And someone kind of asked the question just a second ago: would you take a sell without liquidity? And I was wondering the same thing. And you said you would stay out. So that was kind of plus in education, because I was wondering if it was just a breakout would you just take the breakout if you had a bottom weight, top weight, or if you wait more so for an onion to create structure and then continue driving? So I kind of got my question answered last round because I was about to raise my hand. In this situation, you've created a high and then a higher high with equal highs, and then we kind of drove down to the bottom of the range, and now we kind of in the middle of the range.
So would you look for liquidity then?
I'm more so probably just gonna wait to see what price does as a whole, because I can't determine if price is gonna go back to 47 because it's been up there and tried to go back again. It won't go.
It retested a couple times, right? So you try
Right.
to see now if that will break or if that will hold now, right? I'm not.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Cool.
not.
No.
I wouldn't be looking for buys in that situation at all, though. I would need a break. If it was a buy situation, if that's what you asked me at 47, I would need a breakout and a retest of 47 to be comfortable taking buys.
Okay. So what'd you do here? You just wait here? You just wait for price to see how it plays?
Yeah, I think I personally would.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because now I'm looking for realistically a playbook entry, and I'm more so bearish in general. So I would want price to come down anyway. I'm more so looking for sales in this situation.
All right. So if you're looking for sells, where would you look for like sells at? Like what would your plays be? Would you look for a wick entry? Would you look for just a breakout, a flip? Like what would your main like idea be behind the sells now? Because I'll look for sells too.
I'm more so looking for breakout, bottom wick with range to drive down, top wick, take the flip of the candle. Or the break of the lows, just depending on how structured it is at that point.
All right. So what are those potential points then? Like if you look for that top wick entry or that break of low entry, what would those potential points be? Because they're not confirmed yet, right? Because you want to see like top wicks form first and all of that, but like where would those potential areas be? Because you kind of gotta be ready for those areas to get tapped. So by the time it comes, you won't just be getting it impulsively, right?
So you said where would my entry be
potential, yeah.
Between 39,293 would be my first.
You want to draw it? So it's easier.
On my iPad, it's kind of
I got you.
But my first entry would be below here.
So first entry below here.
A 30 pip range. So I'm definitely able to get 10 to 15 pips within a 30 pip range. And I have clean traffic to the left. So depending on how it closes below this range, if it doesn't fill the range or over half the range, I can look for a pullback back to 39 to take a sell below. And then if it does fill that range, my range 2 would be 37,147 below to fill to 32,969. And if I don't get a playbook entry with a bottom wick to fill the range to continue driving down, I just wait for 32,969 as a breakout, or I get an onion play anywhere in between either one of those. Coming back, grabbing liquidity at 39 to drive down, or if it breaks out of 37,147 to drive down, and I can wait for an onion to come back and tap that area to grab liquidity to drive down. So it's like, I don't know. I can't determine that entry until I see more price.
All right, I'll play it. Just let me know when to pause it. Then I'll just play it and
okay.
Yeah. So it came down first. It tapped 32. What would you do in this situation now? Because it closed below your range now. I think below your range too.
Yeah, it did.
What would you do here? Would you stay out? Would you look for sells? Like, what was that enough of a top wick for you? You know.
At this point, because that previous candle went all the way back to the top and came down, and is rejecting the top. It's broken the lows. It's came down tap 32. It's filled the range. I would stay out of this, even though I'm sitting looking for sales.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Some people will probably predict it to come down and fill that range. This is a 1 hour time frame.
Yeah, this is a 1 hour.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was just talking based off structure. So we've broken the lows, we've broken 2 lows, we tapped 32. This is my new wick. Is this green wick closed now? And it's closed back into the range?
That's I think that's a closure on a 1 hour.
And it's closed back into the range on 1 hour time frame. And it's tapped the lows, but it didn't break the lows. I would stay out, man.
Stay out? All right. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just gonna see how price plays. I don't want to put say an input just yet. Because I mean, unless you want to know what I'll look for this situation.
Yeah.
Or you want to just like play out first and then.
But see, now the second bullish candle broke the previous hour low, which confirms the drive up. So I definitely could have taken an impulse entry here, breaking the lows in the previous hour, closing back into the range. So on this second hourly bullish candle, the next one,
this one,
I could have definitely either took a break of the highs or the flip or
for buys now.
Yeah, for buys, because it's basically closing back into the range. The first bullish 1 hour candle.
This one closed just now too, back into the range.
No. Before that candle.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have kind of gave me confirmation.
Wait. What would you determine as your range there? You would have, I guess, like you're assuming this was your range, right? I'm assuming, like that's where you would have had it.
Right.
Okay, I see.
Back to basically where the first line is, where 39, because that's still that 30-some pip range we measured.
All right. So in this situation, like, so you would have basically looking for entries here. Like you would have been in already, in and out.
Yes, I would either took the break of that high.
All right, I see.
Right. Or depending on how much structure I could see as it made the bottom wick to break the previous low with the previous 1 hour being bullish, I could have definitely got in at the flip of that candle, depending on how it opened, or the break of the high of that candle. Or I could have anticipated the wick grab at the bottom of those bullish and bearish support at 19 or 1736.
I see. All right. Yeah, if I'm being honest, within this range for me, what I would have done was I think I would have just stayed out as a whole, because this is like a bit too messy now. Like you came up, came back down, came up, came back down a bunch of times. You're within the range, you're bouncing between the levels. I'll have my support resistance we had though. Like these areas for me are fine. In terms of like the minor support resistance levels for me, I personally wouldn't have had it there, because this was in general too small of a range for me. Not in terms of pips. Pips were definitely there, but in terms of structure, there's not enough structure for me to really base it off of minor support resistance level. So I'll just have it up as 47, 32. I see now that we came down, tapped 1932. You're starting to reject a little bit. I see that there's some minor levels to the left here that prices have respected in the past, or maybe like even up here, like right here. So this is like a mini range, I guess you're sitting in right now as well. Yeah, it's not much I can do right now. In this situation, I'll probably stay out as well. I don't think there's anything I'm looking forward to. I would have been in the situation, if you were to go back a little bit right here, to say, great, if price comes up, taps like 1960, because there's no top wick there, I'll look for a wick entry there to drive down, because I'm expecting sort of something like this to happen, sort of, right? I retested the highs to drive back down, but obviously that didn't happen. It came down first. So just like the last example I gave out, when things come down first, or comes up first without grabbing orders, what I'll do is we can now be in a position to look for buys. You're right. right? So you were right about the buys. It's just, are we gonna look for buys, like you said, on the breakout lows below 1932, or are we gonna look for buys a breakout above 48, right? So if I'm looking for buys, I wouldn't take buys just yet because I understand that you likely would have to grab a bottom wick at 32 before coming up to take buys, just like the previous example, or two, you got to break out. If you break out and you create a bottom wick here instead, sure, wick entries could be here for buys, but let's see how price plays out here in this situation. All right, so came down, broke the lows first. So that is done now. The bottom wick area is done, but are there any buys yet for me? No, I'll wait for a closure above 1947 now. This thing lagging. So it closed above 1947, right? But there's no bottom wick here. I gotta slow this down a little bit. There's no bottom wick here, so this might become a problem for me too now. I might be like, well, if I want to get a buy here, I would likely want to close above, so that's great. So I'll anticipate price to drop up like this, but before dropping up like this, I'll want to see some type of bottom wick being played out at the bottom of the range here, so within these areas here. But then now price kind of close back into the range here. So what I'll do now is I'll probably go ahead and adjust my level up here a little bit, move it back up above 1948 instead, because that's the most recent resistance. And I'll be like, cool, I'll wait for maybe a buy above 1948 instead.
I would get a complicated range.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big range. It's big enough of a range, but it's just like, you know, it's in terms of structure, like you're still ranging sort of. You're not really like breaking out within the range, if that makes sense. This might start to move though, because I think you just started to break out the range here. So at any given point, this could be a fake out to drive down to retest the lows here, right? So that option for sells is obviously still valid, but I'll look for sells below 1932 probably, because you came down earlier, you broke the lows, you came back up. There's no reason to break these lows once again unless you don't end up driving down, right? So let's see how it plays here, but sells are still valid here, chat, below 32.9. It's just where we break out now at this point. What time is it? Oh, this is Asian session. I wonder if it's been ranging. Asian, okay, Asian opening, cool. Should start to move within the hour.
That's
I guess
definitely
not.
trolling time.
Yeah, bro. Check the 4. Oh yeah, there we go. The 4-hour candle came up great top wick. Yeah, so this might, for all I know, this could be enough for a top wick to drop down here, right? So the idea for sells is valid now because you kind of came up, create a top wick. So yeah, you could be in a situation to look for sells coming down, but now it's looking for entries. In this case, probably below 1932 to be honest. Anything below that range there. Can you close below? What time is it? 8 a.m. opening, New York session. Oh, top wick as well. All right, can you close below 32 here? Nope, didn't close yet. Go in the range. What time is it? It's currently 3 p.m. Yeah, at this point, I'll be off the charts. So you range for a whole day and a half, basically. At this time, it's like what time? It's 4 o'clock. Well, no, 3 o'clock. I'll be off at this time. There's no way. We're on until maybe 11 at max at most, right? So I can't really take these positions because volume might affect price now. If this is like 8 a.m., sure, price would drop down a lot harder. But what time is it? Asian session opening again. All right, cool. So look, Asian session opening. You close back below. I'll probably move my line to below here now because you create a new support here. Again, we're still in the same range. We haven't done shit yet. We're still in the same range.
Moving the ranges like that as it's happening, does that affect the overall concept far as a fake out or breakout?
Nah, because you're just moving it to like the most recent support and resistance. Like I'm moving my levels because I'm looking for sells now, right? If I'm looking for sells now, I would probably want to move my levels below the cleanest traffic area. I wouldn't want to leave it here because anything below here
I
could
see what
still
you're
reject
saying.
there, right? So I'll move it down if I'm looking for sells. If I'm
That's a
looking
new
for
advantage point, or
yeah.
I got.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm looking for buys though, right? If you're in that situation to look for buys, sure, you can leave it where it is and say once you break back into the range, it's a fake out, right? But if I'm
Right.
looking for sells with the fact that we're still like bearish, right? Like you mentioned, then I would probably just move it and adjust it. But this right here is interesting now though, because I think you just started to come down, close back below 32, and now you're kind of popping back into the range here. So let's see what happens here. Now this might be a fake out,
Because
probably,
you have
man.
this minor structure to the left, right? If this was the close, right here. Pencil.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah, 37.
Right.
That's where you have your minor resistance at now, right? That's your current range
Right.
you're in? Yeah.
Right.
So what you do is you look for buys there, right? I'm assuming?
Above.
There? Yeah, above
Right.
there. Yeah, because this now
Is
could
it-
be a fake out. What I'll
Right.
say is, I think in my situation, I mean, I may look for just a closure above 48, just the range in general, just because this range has been pretty messy. It's been a pretty tough range to be in. I'll probably just wait for a buy above 48. So
Gotcha.
this is, I mean, I'm sure you have advantage points in this area. I think you have above like 37 up towards like 41 and such. 4-pip range, you're going up there. Yeah, closure above should indicate volume though. Let's see what happens. This is one messy chart though. This is the hourly too. This is like, how many days of range is this? This is Wednesday, the 6th to the 12th. 6 days of just range here. I'll be annoyed. You didn't close your level, didn't close above my level, right? And we're just starting to trend down here.
Now we have a closure below complete range. So if you was to move your line back now and look, now you definitely looking left.
Yeah, now you gotta look left.
That's ranging. I would probably wait for a retap of where's my pencil? A retap of this area to grab liquidity to drive down. Or onion back at support. We're on a 4-hour now. So
Wait, so you mean like an onion to drive up?
Hold on. Because now we have a closure below, right?
Yeah.
So we basically broke out low. So not even looking. So you just creating a whole new range here. Or does this line really go back here?
I wouldn't really create a new range. I think, like you said earlier, I'll probably look left in this situation. So right now, I'll probably delete all my lines here. I'll probably go like off the 4, to be honest, because I think the 4 I can see left here. I'll probably put my support around here. But to be honest, in this situation, it's very tough for me to take positions here. Because one, you didn't grab enough orders for me to really identify that you're gonna drop down completely, and two, yeah, there hasn't been enough liquidity. I probably would have wanted to see like something like this happen, to be honest. Like if this were to happen instead, sure, this is enough for me to drive down, but that hasn't happened yet. So me taking sellers here, I honestly, in this situation, I'll say I can't read price. I'll say, you know what, I'm staying out. I can't really do much here. If it drives down, it might drive down. Looking left, like anything below 1924 to the left takes you down towards like 1705. That's a pretty massive range, but to be honest, I'm okay with missing this range because there's not enough confirmations to me to identify that we're gonna head down just yet. So I'll probably stay out and wait to see if we can get a top wick somehow at 47, or maybe look for buys above 47 here. But anything here is tough. Like I understand that it can drive down here, but it's just there's not enough liquidity for me to confirm that I can get entries in to drive down. But if this were to happen, I'm in there like swimwear, because this would have been a low for price to drive up. If this were to happen, right? Gotcha. Back into the range, right there. Can we close above 44? You close back above 44, you're a gonzo. unless you close back below. Yeah, see, so it came up, created a top wick here, and it didn't re-break. It didn't close back above 44. Now it's just a mess. Like, I don't know at this point. At this point, it kind of just came down towards 1705, and I probably wouldn't have. I don't think I would have gone in any positions here. But that was a 4-hour time frame. So, but yeah, this wasn't the greatest example, but at least you guys saw how I would have adapted the price in this situation. And sometimes that's completely fine. You could see price drive, and you might understand the areas we could tap into. Like, we understood 1705, but we might not be in a situation to look for sales now to come down towards there because there wasn't enough of confirmations off on your end. And that's not the market's fault. That's not your fault. It's just how you read price, and you didn't get what you wanted. All right. But yeah, that's what I'll do in that situation. It was a little tough. My bad. You got an easier example.
It's totally fine because, you know, when you're trading, you do run into those situations. So
yeah. All right. Let's see. What else do you got here? What else can we talk about, chat? What else do you guys got? Sometimes prices goes one way, then take a trade closure below the range, but sometimes you say I need support and resistance to form, and sometimes not. Sometimes you don't need structure. Yeah, because there's a lot of sometimes on the charts. There's a lot of scenarios that could print out, and since there's a lot of scenarios, you have to learn how to adapt the price. So sometimes I might look for this, sometimes I might look for that, sometimes this, sometimes that, but there's always gonna be a sometimes, because like we have a lot of scenarios and plays for different situations. It's not always the same. What's the bias today? Bullish, okay. Onion play, okay. Breakout. No, it's like there's a lot that goes to it. There's liquidity. Where could that liquidity be formed at? How could it be formed there? If that were to be liquidity, what's the advantage point? Can we then take the liquidity, or can we wait for liquidity to be formed and then take the position? Right? There's a lot of situations a lot of things that could go down within your trades. Like, you see how in this situation there's so much shit we're looking for. It's like one time we're looking for this, the next hour we're looking for this, next hour we're looking for that, because price kept printing new situations, and we had to adapt to it. And it's all situational, right? It's like we went from looking for buys above 1944, or my bad, sells at 1965, to looking for buys above 1946, to not getting anything in this situation at all. Not getting one scenario that played out. Adapt. Yeah, adapt is key in trading, man. It's very key, and that's why the strategy is very, like, there's a lot that goes on. It's not as straightforward as most strategies out there, and that's not on purpose too. That's just what it came down to over the last like 4 years of trading, right? It's not just as simple as waiting for a closure above or below the range. Like, that stuff, you know, we kind of advanced on a little bit. Let's see. Let's go to a different scenario here on price. Let's go to like maybe like here somewhere, okay? Hopefully this is a lot cleaner. That's a mess as well. I want to look for something clean so I can show you guys a good example. Like, the first one's pretty clean. This one, not bad. This is not bad actually. Wait, if you look for liquidity entries for sells and it closes above them, then it's not valid anymore. If I'm looking for liquidity for sells, okay, yeah. So if I'm in a situation to, like, for instance, have my resistance here, have my support here, and price was bearish here, and it was coming down on the trend, right? It was coming down like this. All of a sudden, it creates a range. It stops at here, it creates a range. That's completely fine. It would then create a range. I'll allow it to create a range. And within this range here, I'll say, yeah, if I'm looking for more sells to come down because the bias for a day was bearish off of the fact that we were coming down already, what I'll do in this situation is, yeah, after a range formed, I will look for liquidity. I will look for liquidity somewhere up here to drive down. But what's key is understanding the range you're in. So if you're in the range between 1820 and 1900, you want to see price respect 1900 while printing liquidity, right? Because if price were to not hold 1900, what could happen is you might get a closure above the range like this. In that situation, for all I know, price might end up just coming back up. But if price were to create a top wick and then respect 1900 at the same given time, that's great, because then you can look for sales to come back down to retest the lows, or you can get a wick entry, understanding that's your advantage point. Because if you were to close bullish above the range like this and you get a wick entry and all of a sudden price closes above, it doesn't close back below, at least what you have here is you have the bottom wick that could be formed because you haven't grabbed liquidity here yet. So then you get in sales, let's say somewhere over here, right? Your stop loss is wherever, your target is like down here, right? Worst case, price doesn't drive down, it drives up, but at least you have this area right here to take advantage of. And by the time you come down, tap the support, you're risk free. But if price ends up, you know, coming down like this to retest the lows, I mean, you're good. Yeah, your wick entry will be good to drive to fill the range. So yeah, in that situation, if price were to close above like that, and I weren't to get an entry yet, I didn't have a wick entry yet, I just saw price close back above. In this situation, I'll just stay out. I'll stay out, but I'll wait for a couple things. I'll be like, okay, cool. If I want more sells, I would then need an official closure below the range like this, because that will indicate that you were grabbing liquidity. Because this right here on the daily might be like this on the weekly. You might just see like one strong bearish candle on the weekly coming down because this was a top wick. But I'll wait for a closure. And for more buys, I'll wait for a bottom wick. So if I'm looking for more buys, I'll wait for a closure above the range. So we got a closure, great. But what I'll do now is I'll wait for a bottom wick to break the lows or even tap into this green box here before making that push up. So I'll wait for a bottom wick, and then worst case, I can get a wick entry there. Or two, I can place a buy stop on the flip of this candle after the bottom wick is formed to drive up to retest the highs. But that's what I'll do in that situation if you were to close above the range. Again, you have to adapt the price. You can't just have the same analysis you had at the beginning of the session. You have to adapt and change up your analysis during the session as well, because price will print candles, and those candles might affect your levels, might affect your ranges and your zones in general as a whole. No, we're not going to talk about funded today. We can't waste the whole stream talking about funded companies. Maybe Monday. All right, yeah, so right here on price on the daily, right? This is the daily time frame. Again, all time frames are the same. They all have highs, lows, closures, top wicks, bottom wicks, etc. So what I'll do in this situation is step one, define the bias. What's the bias here? It is currently bullish. Yes, you have this as well, but current structure, you're still bullish here. So you're looking for buys now, majority buys. It's just how would buys make sense is what you're asking yourself now. All right, so buys, check, bullish. Now, draw your support and resistance levels. So I'll draw my resistance maybe above here. Why above there, Don? Because looking left, there's these areas to the left here that I see. And that's an area that I want to see a closure above to drive up like this candle to the left did. Last time it closed above, right? Last time it closed above, drove up, closed above, drove up, right? Closed above, drove up. So you have these areas, I'll say minimum. So I'll put this as my next resistance here. I'll say last time price drove up towards here, struggled, or towards here, struggled, towards here, struggled, towards here, struggled, towards here, struggled. So I'll put that in the middle. I'll put that resistance maybe around here, I'll say, or even here, to be honest, right there. All right, so that's the range that I'm looking forward to next if you were to close back above 1891. So now it's just about, are we going to come down to grab liquidity first before driving up, or will price just close back above 1980 or 1890 to drive up to fill the range at 1931? What's going to happen? Are we going to get something like this, right? Where it just drives up, or are we going to get a bottom wick like this before getting that drive up? If you get a bottom wick, amazing. Wick entries up to retest the highs. If not, then I guess we can take a flip or something. So let's see what happens here now. But right now, I would not take any positions at all. There's nothing I can really take here. There's no confirmation that we're going to drive up, aside from the fact that we're bullish on the daily, and there's no confirmation that we're going to reject because we haven't had a closure, a bearish closure respecting resistance. We just have a closure at resistance off a bullish candle. So let's see what happens here. All right, so we got a closure above the range on the daily. Now this is the daily, right? So we got a closure above. This is interesting now because, okay, cool. You have a closure above and it looks like we're in a situation where price could possibly mirror these ranges to the left here. You had last time, you had this entire push up, this entire wave up, right? So I'm trying to see, could this closure be identical to this closure to the left here? Right? Because you have the same closure, and last time it kind of came up and filled the range. So could we take, this is the daily time frame. I know we don't really do this, but let's see if we can take a position here. So what I'll do probably is have a bias up on the break of the highs or just an entry on the opening of the candle. I'll have my stops probably below like these ranges like this, and have my target somewhere up here because you close above the range. So I would assume that, okay, with closing above, you could mirror this range to the left here, these ranges to the left here, right? But understand, remember how earlier we looked at minor levels to the left? There's minor levels to the left here. So if price doesn't drop towards TP, worst case, what it could do here is it could just end up driving up towards the minor resistance here at 1911. So I understand now that once price taps 1911, I'll be risk free, right? Because there's an area right there where price likely could reject off of, and I want to use that as my advantage point. So let's see what happens here. All right, look, you came up, you tapped 1908. At that point, you're risk free, right? Obviously, that was like 10% profit. We'll be risk free, no doubt about it. And then, yeah, that's it. That'll be the trade. You can't just open it up, close above the range. You're assuming that you're going to drive up to fill the range. There's minor levels to the left, which you got to take advantage of. And that's what you did. And that's the position. Obviously, it's trading view, so I can't really pause it. It's this kind of closures, right? But now that I tapped that level, I don't know what's going to happen now. It can do anything now, right? It can reject, it can respect. I don't know. But what I would do now probably is I would probably go ahead and, to be honest, look for another closure above this range to the left here, above like 1911. Right, above 1913, 1911. I'll say anything above there could be great. So within this range, this is now, I will say, called an awkward range. So you have to understand when to get in, when to get out. Right now, we're at awkward range, awkward area on price. I don't know what's going to happen here. So I want to just stay out and wait for price to print my levels before deciding where it wants to go next. Right, but this is an area where price will spend a lot of time in before it drives in a direction, either bullish or bearish. I don't know. But what the potential scenarios here could be is, one, you could, because you always want to have potential scenarios, right? You always want to have that in your mind. And there might be multiple some days. It might be 4 or 5 potential scenarios. But scenario number 1 is obviously just you close above the range like this and you drive up to fill the range. Great. Scenario number 2 is you close bearish back below the range like this. Right? This could happen as well. If you close back below the range, then that's gonna get very ugly. That might just end up driving back down, or that might end up ranging within this area, right? But those are my scenarios here. So I want to see what plays out here. But the idea is that you close above 1913 to get buys going up. All right, so you came down, you made a low, still respect the 1913, came back below. You see what I mean by it's an awkward area? You don't know what's gonna happen here at all. I had no idea. But now look, now you came down, you tapped 1970, you have a new support being formed here. This is amazing now. All right, I'll probably move it like down towards here. Right? This is the range we're in now from 1913 to 1961. This is kind of invalid as a range, to be honest, but you could leave it there for a potential fake out, right? That could be an option as well. But I'll say for buys, I'm looking for more buys above here now. So buys above here, above 1913. And then I'll look for sells maybe below like this range, I'll say. Below like this level. So whatever's in this range between 1913 and 1961, I'll probably avoid for the time being because we're still in an awkward zone here. See what I mean? They're an awkward zone. Not looking for sells there. that was below 1937 was it. So anything below there, I wouldn't have gone this, but still, I think both played out, right? But that was it. That's how you adapt to price, sorta. You kind of just gotta wait for price to tap into levels and then remark your zones up and then wait for your potential scenarios to play out. In this case, the sells below 37 would have played out. But I don't know where I would have gone in here because again, this is the daily time frame. I'm assuming just a closure below this range would have been ideal for us to get in, to drop down towards wherever next is, right? So like, again, understanding and adapting the price, understanding when and how to get in, or when to get in and when not to get in trades, or when to hunt and when not to hunt. Any questions on that? Any questions or concerns on that? Let me know. That was very straightforward, right? That wasn't too complex. I think the main idea though is just understanding when to get in, when to get out. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have somebody come on to Zoom again. We're gonna have somebody come on to Zoom, and we're gonna have that person. I'm gonna ask them, would you hunt here or would you not hunt here? Because the idea is that you have to understand when to hunt and when not to hunt, and you have to know the difference between ranges versus or consolidations versus potential breakouts, right? So who wants to do that? Someone new. Let's put up I don't want to Zoom. Jacob again? All right, let's do Jacob again. All right. You got the project, Jacob? You understand the what we're gonna do here? I can't hear you. Jacob not new, but yeah, no one else is
Yo, yeah, I get it. But I had another question before we start this.
yeah.
So, I don't know if it was right here, but you were like, I was looking to mirror this range, and you were on the daily, right? And you were, I don't know how long ago this was, but I kind of get confused when you're like, oh, I think it was right here. Like when you're like, okay, I'm looking like if I could mirror this push and then like mirror that, right? If that makes sense. But then like how do you know when you switch from looking to mirror a price, like looking left and then looking and then you kind of switch just in between the ranges,
I see
if
what you
that
mean.
makes
I see
sense.
what you mean.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if
so
you want to ask Elvis, because I think Elvis will
sure.
kind of get what I'm trying to say too.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't hear anything.
But this is separate from what we're doing, because I get what we're doing. We're gonna say like if we were gonna hunt,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is a
yeah.
separate question.
You
What
want
was the
to get this out the
question?
way first. He was asking like, in terms of like when would you look for a mirror mirroring this? Oh, he asked me, but he asked you too. When would you look for a mirror of this versus when would you look most recent?
Jacob, can you explain that again?
I mean, I could answer
All right,
it.
so like say like yeah, say Don's like, all right, I'm looking to mirror something, and then Price just does something different, and then we kind of switch to inside the range. So say Price is like here, right, and then he's like, all right, I'm looking to mirror this pool, and then Price, I maybe I'm answering my or like, how do you know when to just switch to inside like Price here, and then you stop looking from over here?
Yeah.
Well,
So
okay, I think in general, right, like we are still, after we potentially tapped into like these sorts of areas, right? We're looking for liquidity potentially to go up, right? So we could be mirroring this, but at the same time, once it gets here and it's struggling, we're understanding that last time it didn't struggle here, right? So it's looking like we need more liquidity if it wants to go up anyways, right? So at this point, right, at this level, you're probably thinking, okay, you probably need more liquidity. You're probably not going to mirror this exact push all the way back up. And in that case, you could be looking for either the cells to come down to grab liquidity or break out above after grabbing liquidity to continue up.
Yeah, okay. So you
And
kind of
it's
just
just
adapting
adapting
to
to price
price,
after
right?
seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, I got one more thing to add on to this.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I chose this to mirror is because you see the direction of price here. You see how we're coming up from like around these areas. I didn't say it out loud, but like naturally, just I kind of seen it. It was just this. Like you had a very similar rejection point. So you're coming up from here. You're coming up from here as well. So in this situation, I'm looking to mirror this. I can't mirror this because this is coming down. This is coming down. This wasn't coming up. I'm looking for all the bullish pushes. I'm looking at maybe like this. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at that's it. Those are the two areas I'm looking at, right? So that's why in that situation I chose to use this because you had the same consolidation zone, same consolidation zone. So could you have the same push going up as well? Retest the highs. That's why I use that instead of just this.
I would also say, Jacob, so imagine, right? Imagine this wasn't the daily time frame. Imagine this was like a 5-minute chart. So then we'd be looking at, okay, what is the daily range or what is the 4-hour range? And like say this is a daily at the moment. This from here to here, or like maybe up to here, this could just be a monthly range, right? So on the daily, we're going to slowly creep up to fill the monthly range before coming down. And that's just the monthly movement, right? But if you imagine, it's the same thing on the 5, if you're like evaluating it versus like the hourly or 4-hour. You'll just see consolidation in some 5 ranges, like these areas. And then once it pushes out, you might see some 15-minute, fill of the ranges or some 30-minute fill of the ranges. So that's what we're looking for. So once you have this mirror compared to this, like these two boxes that Don drew up like down here, once you have this, we're looking, okay, once you broke above, what was the liquidity you grabbed, right? In this case, you tapped into these areas down at like 1680, and you actually had enough to continue up from here. So cool. Once it started breaking out, we probably looked for some bottom wicks around these areas to continue pushing above here, right? But we're not looking for this to mirror the entire move. We're just saying that, okay, if this is, for example, a monthly range, there's a high chance we're going to come to fill the range before price does anything else.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's just, I guess adapting is what it was.
I think for me at least, it's a bit of a complex thing, but I think the more I like trade, I'll get it, and I can just ask you guys again, and if what I'm seeing makes sense.
Yeah, trading is all about repetition. It's all about just doing the same thing over and over again, and you just get better at seeing what you're seeing, right? The first time you see it, you might be like, okay, and then the second time you see it, oh great, cool, your confidence goes up. So over time, your confidence will just go up because you've seen that stuff so many times, right? But it's good. It's good that you're asking these questions now because I'm sure if you're still looking for these exact same things over the next couple of years, eventually you'll get to a point where it'll be natural to you. Like, you know how I just saw this naturally? Like, you would just see it naturally as well. You wouldn't even have to, like, question it.
Yeah. I'm gonna use the restroom in like 2 minutes, and then
yeah,
bro, want to do that thing.
Go get your rest, yeah. Bro said rest. All right, anyone, I guess, anyone on Zoom want to do it then, or in the YouTube then, because no one on Zoom is everyone is too experienced on Zoom right now apparently, which is good.
Or too shy. I think Wix is a little bit shy. We should get him on sometime. Wix looks a little bit too shy. I know. Bit of a stretch.
Where's Wix at? Hold on. I gotta put you on screen, Mojo. All right, there you go. I think we have a new student here, chat. We have a new student in class here. His name is Wix. His name is Wix9. Welcome, Wix9.
Everyone say welcome to Wix.
He's a little shy, you know? A little shy.
What's the deal?
What's the deal, man? How long have you been training for, man?
Honestly, you want me to lie about this?
No, I'm fucking drunk.
What I was gonna say is, oh,
I'm back.
I forgot how to annotate. Yeah, what I was gonna say is, chat Asian session 8 p.m. Eastern.
This
Um,
guy. You know, bro. Nah, does Don Juan want to do the hunt thing? If not, I'll do it.
Let's get
Or,
Huss on this. Huss, I'm gonna call you up. Let's see if
Or what
he's.
about the other guys, Gibbet or Kendrick?
Oh sure, yeah. If they want to raise their hands, for sure. I just don't know who's comfortable, you know, who's not. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of pressure to be on stream, and I get it. I get it. Elvis is one scared too. I can tell.
I was so scared the first time. Like,
First
so
time
scared.
streaming or the first time hopping on stream?
Hopping on
First time
stream.
hopping on stream.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
it's
like
all good.
stuttering.
Let's do Huss. I think Huss could do this, bro. Let's see.
I can do this.
Let's see. Huss. Let's see.
I don't think he studied.
Yeah,
study
to be
first.
fair, I'm
Yeah,
more
man.
OG type of guy, but we can see.
All right. So you know what we're doing though, right? We're doing the whole like when to look, like when to hunt, when not to hunt. I don't know if you use that towards your strategy though. That's the thing. Like I don't know if you use that yourself.
What do you mean by
That's the
hunt?
thing. I don't know. Not everyone here trades the same. You know. That's the
I
thing.
trade your old playbook stuff, basically. but-
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be a little tricky, but fuck it. We'll try it out.
Fuck it, man.
All
What do
right.
you mean by hunt though? Like,
Like-
aggressive?
Like you know how like earlier on I was mentioning like when I would look for positions and when I would not look for positions, like because sometimes I might need to wait for liquidity wick to be formed before getting
Mhm.
positions. So those times when I'm waiting for those positions, that would be a situation where I would not hunt. Like I'm not hunting for trades. But once you grab liquidity, that's when I'll hunt. So now I'm trying to ask you to show an example of live is like whatever range we're in. Would you look
Mhm.
for? Would you hunt here or would you not hunt?
Okay. What was
Like
saying?
yeah. So let's go maybe like I don't know. Let's go maybe like this right here. I guess this right here. What would you do here? And I guess there's no wrong answer to this, to be honest, if you can explain it. But this range right here, what would you be doing right now?
Right.
You don't gotta do a full analysis. Just like what would you do off of
To be honest,
structure?
I can't see left properly. That's the problem.
Okay, I see. All right. Let's say there's
Fuck
nothing
left.
left.
It's irrelevant.
Let's say you look at just the current area on price. Like, what would you do here? Would you look for positions or would you pay out?
I would be looking for sales, but probably on potentially the like if we made a retest of that resistance and formed a like an onion type thing.
Oh, you want to look left to see
Yeah.
your support formed. I see.
Mhm.
Okay, let's say support was formed here. That makes it easier. This is your support. This is your resistance. What would you do within the range now?
I wouldn't be aggressive on the sell just yet because it looks like, well, for me, what I wait for normally is like the retest, obviously, of that resistance, right? So
yeah.
if I was to go for sells, I would look for somewhere around that resistance area where it is, or if you go to grab liquidity in that resistance area, then you come down to break the like wicks of the support or something, and then I'll see what that looks like on a higher time frame, and then that's what I'll do. But I wouldn't hunt, I don't think, right now.
Yeah. So you'll stay out basically. You're waiting for that top wick, which is that liquidity. That's what
Yeah.
you're waiting for. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter how it plays
It's kind of tough if you're only looking at one time frame here, but
Yeah. It is.
if you're looking at the 15 and a tapped support here, and you have a range, resistance, support, and you got a range, and now you have a pullback. So on the higher time frame, this whole thing is probably a bottom wick,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if that's a bottom wick, and you understand you got to tap this area to come back up here, you're probably going to look for either a break of the lows on the next candle to come up and retap that resistance, because we know gold is very technical and it fills ranges and it retests highs and lows. So you're either going to look for a retest of that low and a wick to come up, or you're going to look for a, depending on how the higher time frame opens. So if this was your the hourly candle that just closed like this, and this is the bottom wick here, right? That pull back up is the bottom wick. Then if it closed strong enough where there's nothing here to the left, you can take sells probably off the rip to fill this range, understanding you're going to have to tap at least here before you come up. So if there's enough range to come down here, there's many ways to play this. You can either fill this range, or you can wait till it taps and then flips bullish to come up. Or if, let's say, none of this happens and the candle just closed bearish and it opens up with a top wick off the rip, then all you're doing is just a wick fill, right? Then all you're looking for is an entry on this top wick for it to come back down somewhere here. It depends on how this closes on the higher time frame, if this is a bottom wick, and how the next hourly 4-hour opens. Does it give you that top wick first, or does it come down, retap these lows first before coming back up?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this situation, like you're waiting for things, right? You're waiting for those top wicks. So like you probably wouldn't be looking for like anything right now until you get what you wanted, which is those top wicks or even that bottom wick here.
The thing is, if this is all together, like, right, if you close here, if this is the hourly and the 4-hour, right, and it closes this strong, right, then this strong bearish, I mean, then you're filling the next range. I mean, you're filling to the bottom of the range.
Yeah.
So you'll
bottom wick.
retest. You could probably, if it's a 4-hour close, you could probably take this off the rip, a sell off the rip, because even if it pulls back, it'll fill. But a lot of times it just won't pull back. It'll just drive straight through to tap the next support before making a decision.
Perfect.
That's when,
Yeah, because like, yeah, if you were to drive out, you probably want to see like this worst case, right? And that's like this bottom wick is like your advantage point. But yeah, in this situation, like I probably would stay out. Like I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm not hunting because there's things that haven't been established yet, which is those wicks that you were kind of talking about. You guys were both talking about. So I'll probably wait to see what price does here. So it came up, right at the top wick, tapped into the zone that you mentioned. Hus, what would you do now? Because now I came up and tapped your level, right? So would this be a scenario where you're looking for positions at, or would you wait for a steeper wick or something like that to form, or more confirmations?
Yeah, so because we're tapping this level, and if I'm looking for sells, then I would want not too. It wouldn't have to be too much liquidity because it looks like we've grabbed some and we're bearish. So maybe that's like a sort of a wick up to those areas, that resistance area, and then come down. I'll get on the flip to fill in the range to the bottom, probably.
Perfect. All right. So wait, you're still waiting for things here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still waiting. Yeah. I would do the same thing here probably. Let's see what happens here. Because there's really no indication of anything. It's just like you have support, you have resistance. This is the range you're in. Now here's when things will get interesting, though. I think you're starting to break out. Let's see. I can probably draw my one more resistance up here, to be honest. Up here at the top of the range here.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like price didn't really reject the 1770, which is fine. It closed above. So now with it closing above, this is perfect. So I'll probably go ahead and draw my, I'll say resistance right around here at 77. And I'll honestly say anything above 77 will be great for buyers going up towards 80. But what would you do?
Yeah, because then then you're breaking into the new range, which is the resistance, and you're most likely on the left. I can see every time that we even came past that, we've at least filled that range to the top of that resistance.
Yeah. Like right here, right there. Every time it came up, it just tapped it. Yeah, so anything above 77 should be good for buys up. Anything below, well, I don't think I'll have anything planned for sells. Yeah, I think for sells for me would be anything below 70, 61, to be honest.
And this is where like your old playbook stuff is still very important, because like if you even look at this, that's range 1 in the bottom, that's range 2 at the top, and then you're obviously, it looks from outside that you're bearish, but you can still take buys if you're going, obviously, because you're making that structure right there to go up if you broke the highs.
Yeah, because it'll just be a breakout. It'll be straightforward, straight from the playbook. All right, let's see what happens here, though. Kind of go off topic, though.
Once you tap into the top green level, though, you can then probably look for sells below certain areas.
Right there.
But,
yeah. All right, right there. Yeah, it just came up, closed back above 77. That would have been your entry probably. would have been in some drawdown for a little bit, and then the idea was that I pushed up the filter range every time, and that's what it did this time around. So same thing here. So I probably would have been positions like, to be honest, like something like this. You guys might get mad at me here, but something like this, and my stops would have been like something like this. To be honest, that would have been the ideal position to drop.
You guys might get mad.
You guys might get mad. I know it looks, it looks a little like non-Instagram worthy, but hey, bro, this is how I trade.
The thing is that you grab liquidity here as well, right? Like here, you're expecting this liquidity grab here,
Yeah,
right? So you probably just put your stop loss here, right, just below.
yeah, there too. I think that was the 1 hour low. Yeah, that 1 hour is ugly though. Wow, that 1 hour looks a little different from the 15. Instagram molding. But yeah, got off top of there. But yeah, like just idea of like when to hunt, when not to hunt, right? So like let's go through like maybe one more example here. On like the 15. Like this is my resistance now in price. I'll probably go ahead and put this as my support here, current range we're in, right? So in this situation, I would not hunt because you already tapped the advantage point. Now it's a time where price might range, might do whatever. I don't know what it's gonna do here, but what I'll do is I'll have my resistance up here at 81. I'll have maybe one more minor level right here at like 73, right? Like that's like the current range I'm in. And if I'm looking for more positions now, I'll say anything above like 1781 would be great, but you might need a bottom wick first. So I'll wait for the bottom wick, which means that I'm not hunting. I'm gonna wait for the bottom wick, and if that bottom wick doesn't form, there's nothing I could really take here. All right, so you got the bottom wick. Now it's time to hunt. All right, so you got the bottom wick. You close back above these ranges. This channel goes bearish at resistance now. So I don't know. I think I would have taken a position here. I'm pretty sure I would. So let's just say I took one position here at like 90 or 1784, whatever. And then this channel now is closing bearish, respecting support. This trade is still valid, right? So let's say in some given world we took a position here, and then because we came down, you create a bottom wick, right? And then we're looking for a closure above the range. You finally close above. Your entry is on the opening of that candle, and let's say your stop loss is below here. Now let's see what happens here. Let's see if price holds 71 here or 81 here, or if it will reject off of 81 or close below 81 to drop back into the range here. All right, so we'll push back up. All right, so now you have a minor resistance here. I'm not sure if you guys see this, but there's another resistance right around here at 1786. I'll say, to be honest, in this situation, if we already got in a position and this is now just a range where formed, what you would want to wait for here is probably some type of bottom wick here. So you probably want to see like a closure above, but once you get a bottom wick. So in this situation, if we're on stream, again, you guys get mad at me, but I might say I need more drawdown. We might need to see more drawdown before driving up, because that drawdown would just be a bottom wick / liquidity for us to rise up towards the top of the range.
I think there's also a chance you may have gone break even here. Oops, here, as you broke this high.
Yeah. Wait, what you say? Break even there?
I think you may have gone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Once you start pushing up, right, you're expecting, okay, you're probably going to drive once you broke this high. So once it did break here, 15 pips, you would have been out.
Yeah. The second we break the highs for sure.
you're out of position.
In Donbo fashion.
Yeah. But I guess we're on a simulation here, so let's see what happens now. We
You guys might get a little mad at him here.
Yeah, we might need more drawdown because you want to see like this. If you get a retest of 878, you might want to get a pineapple.
Nice.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's not looking good.
Oh, there's hope.
No,
more liquidity. Oh, now you want to stack. stack. Must be
You guys might get a little more mad right now.
Yeah, 24-hour stream.
This would have been a 24-hour stream for sure. Would have been bad. This is now the late New York session. Nah, this is not looking good now. Now we're just ranging at this point. Oh,
you would have been out.
Yeah, we've been out for sure. Like we wouldn't break even. We would have been out on the first try, but
yeah.
Yes, yeah. That was what we're looking at though. We're like just waiting
I
for
was
the
gonna
bottom
say,
wick.
move your stops a little more down. We could be in the straight for a while.
Maybe you can move it down towards here like this. This is our 120.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then now people have been like, "Oh, you were on for 24 hours and only caught 10 pips with all that drawdown."
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
How come you didn't show up to today's stream? Because this shit was 24 hours full.
But yeah, that would have been that position, to be honest. Let's see. What else do you guys want to talk about here, chat? My headset might be dying soon, so I might not hear you guys. And what else should we cover? What else do you think there is that I haven't covered today yet?
I mean, if you haven't covered anything, come back next week and continue covering. Are you streaming next Sunday?
Yeah, for sure. Every Sunday at 12 p.m. or 10 to 12 p.m. Depends what I gotta do in the morning, but it's 2:20 right now. I probably gotta dip off soon. But man, this is definitely fun.
You've been shooting about 2 hours now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do simulations too much. I just want to answer questions, right? Like we kind of got off topic because did a bunch of simulations like the past hour and a half, but
Yeah, the thing is with the simulations, it's very easy to just focus in on one person's trading style. So you'll have one person doing the simulation, and then eventually you'll have a stack of questions which you haven't answered, and you're over time.
yeah.
That's what I typically find. So
Example of your recent sample size and trades we took off of those this week. My recent sample size and trades. Oh yeah, like the middle of the range type entries. Sure. I think it's just part of like advantage points. That's really the idea. Like for instance, like if we were to be, this is my resistance, this is my support. Let's say price is like coming down here, right? Price is coming down, it's bearish. Like typically, it all comes, typically what will happen here is you start a range here. So let me just draw this first real quick. Create a range. Right? So if this is what has formed now, where one, the bias is bearish today, the bias is bearish right now on current price, you create a support, you create a resistance, or you didn't create resistance, but you rejected off of resistance. What are the potential scenarios here? So it's the same steps every trade. It's like one, what's the bias? Two, what is your range? Three, what are the potential areas that price could reject off of or price could drive off of? Right? In this situation, it's coming down, came up, tapped resistance. This is the one solid range you're sitting in, which is this area on price. And within this area, potential number one, I'll say, you know what, I'll ask you guys chat. What would you guys say potential number one is? Or if anyone on Zoom wants to answer, that's cool as well. So you came down, you stopped for a little bit, you ranged. What could happen now?
Grab liquidity.
Grab liquidity? All right, cool. Yeah, so you grab liquidity, right? And obviously grabbing liquidity you would want to see something like this probably, right? You want to see a top wick breaking the highs, breaking above these levels to the left in this yellow box right here. Break those wicks probably. This now will be liquidity. This right here in the circle zone, this would be liquidity. You drive down, right? So that's what you mentioned. That's scenario number one, or number two, number three, whatever it is on your playbook. Scenario number two is what? So the first scenario is if the first scenario is to drive down, right? And you need a top wick at 1914 to break those highs. What is scenario number two? AKA, if you weren't to drive down, but you were to drive up this time, what could happen before driving up? You muted Wix. I think you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Don Juan has his.
I'm whispering.
Oh, you're whispering. I'm like, all right. Like,
Don Juan has his hand raised.
what's scenario number 2? On. If you were to drive up, what would need to happen before you drive up?
I think you gotta
Anyway.
unmute the man.
Oh god,
Yeah,
grab
I
liquidity.
I didn't really raise my hand to answer that question, but realistically, to answer the question, just based on what I've seen today, you're looking for a bottom candle to break
Correct.
the lows. But my question in general to this is, in your first example, like 1 or 2, what you're waiting for, you created your bias, you have support here. When you be looking for some type of resistance first and then a break of the highs or a break of the lows to give you direction?
Yeah, we can look for that. It's just that I'm kind of drawing candles out right now, so I can't see a small time frame. But sometimes you might see what you're talking about. Like you might see, like you're talking about if you were to get a bearish candle resistance, right? And you were to get a break of the highs and then a drive down, right?
Correct.
That might be forming on the 5, while the 15 looks like this though. So yeah, you could, but I'm drawing it off of just like with the way things are looking, the way I drew it. But
Okay, so if you're looking for it to drive up, you're looking for a break of the lows.
Perfect. You're looking for this, right? You're looking for, if you were to drive up, it's very, very dry like this. You likely will see something like this form first. So if scenario number 1 was what? This is scenario number 1, right? And now this is scenario number 2. What do these 2 scenarios have in common here, chat? What do they both have? This goes under the line of whenever I say, no matter where price goes here, it likely will have to tap blank before driving blank. What do they both have here? What levels are being tapped regardless of where we're headed out here?
Your bottom wick levels?
Perfect. Which is what? I don't know if you guys can see this right now, but like, is it going to be, I'll say here, 1806, right? 1806. So if I'm looking for instance, sales coming down, you could probably take a wick entry on the break of these highs somewhere around here, right? And then if you were to drive up with the way price came up here, you would still be getting the bottom wick, but it comes down to how that bottom wick formed and when it formed. If this candle comes down, creates a bottom wick first, and comes up to retest the highs, the sells are invalid, right? Because now you have a bullish candle that came down first, came up, and created a high. But if you were to not create the bottom wick first, and you were to create a top wick first, in this situation it did, you would look for sells from here, coming back down to retest the lows. And that's the idea behind the trade. So in this case, that's your advantage point. Your advantage point is that, yeah, no matter where price goes here, you're looking for sells to tap into the 1806 worst case before it goes anywhere else. And that's the idea. So you can have this range to take advantage of, or you can have this range to take advantage of. Make sense? Yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's the idea behind that situation.
Can we like pull up the trade that you took for that and then find an example of it?
Yeah, sure. So you want to go on a simulation or on a random area on charts?
Yeah, the trade. Yeah. Well,
I got you.
I just want to look at it and then see, like, compare and see how it looks to me.
Yeah, I'll go over here. Here for you guys. What happened here? I got that already formed the top wick. All right, here. Nope, that already formed bottom wick. Bruv. Here. All right, cool, perfect. So within, oh fuck, the idea behind that, I didn't answer the question. The idea behind that last question was they asked like those examples of the trades I took this week, how would I take them? In that case, like, yeah, it's just a vantage point. It's like understanding no matter where you're headed next, you gotta tap into this level before driving. So you can just take styles in the middle of the range coming down to retest the lows. That's basically it. But it comes down to how to find those levels in general. That's what I broke down. And the rest is just straightforward. Like, yeah, no matter where you go, you're gonna come down first before driving up, vice versa. So you want to get in and get out at those areas. Yeah, this is I can use this example probably. So step one, what's the bias? It's bearish. Now this is a bit trickier because you came down bearish here off the structure, and then you create a high over here. You create a low, create a lower high, a low, and now you create a high here. It would have been a lot easier to look at price now and give you as an example if it just looked like this. But since it already formed off this mess here, it's a little trickier here, which I don't know if I should use this example. I should probably change it, to be honest. Wow, there's a gap there. Okay, cool. This is fine. Yeah, so step one, what's the bias of the day? It is bullish. You have this push up. Great. You have your resistance somewhere up here at 1549. Holy shit. 1549. And you have your support right here sitting at 1525. This is the current range you're sitting in right now, right? So if we're in the range between 1549 and 1527, and the bias for a day we established was already bullish, I would be in a situation to say, cool, if price were to drive down here, what would be needed to drive down? Obviously, a closure, right? That's straightforward, self-explanatory, a closure below to indicate that we were breaking below support. But after we close below, I would likely wait for a top wick to be tapped. And in this case, personal preference, I'll probably have a top wick being created around here. I'll say you gotta tap into 1540 before you drive down to mirror this entire range. Because again, this range is a pretty massive range. It's not a small range. Therefore, you're gonna need a lot of liquidity in order for price to drive down to retest those lows. Preferably, if you can get a top wick like this would be amazing to drive down. A break of the highs, that would be perfect, right? But you might not. You might just end up tapping this. So I'll be okay with taking a position at 1540 for sellers coming back down. Now, if you were to drive up with the bias, right? I know it was to be bullish. What would I need to happen? I would likely need to happen. I'll likely need this to happen. I'll need a breakout. But after a breakout or before a breakout, I'll need a bottom wick. And that bottom wick area, I'll say would preferably have to be within this green circle here, this area right here. There's no bottom wick there. I'll likely see, or I'll want to see a bottom wick before making the way back up to fill the top of the range. Something like this. All right, so this is scenario number one. And then scenario number two is this. Top wick to drive down. So bottom wick to drive up or top to drive down. What happens no matter what in this situation here? You're going to see a retest of 1540, right? Because that's the minor resistance. And again, even if you were to drive up, you need a bottom wick. And if you were to drive down, you need a top wick. So in this situation, I can be looking for sells at 1540 to drive down, or I can be looking for buys from here to drive back up to retest the highs at 1540. So what I'll do here is I'll probably wait for a bottom wick here at 1520, and then take buys at 1520 back up to retest 1540. So let's see if it comes down that steep. If it does, then that'll be the wick. Yeah, right there. Perfect. So in this situation, I'll probably be in buys here, to be honest. Right? Now, this might glitch a little bit because it's trading view, and it might just skip candles. But in this situation, I'll look for buys off of that bottom wick area, so probably around these areas to the left. And my target would be up here. And my stop loss would be probably below here, to be honest. Don't mind the numbers. Don't mind how big the stops are. It's obviously 300 pips, but like still. We're looking at just structure in general. So let's just say it's this, right? That my stops are below the ranges like this. So I'll be in a buy here, and there's a couple things now which I will take advantage of. There's one, the top wick area on price, which is right here, minor level at 1527. So once price comes up, taps that area, I'll be risk free. I'll be break even, because I mean that's like a 4-pip range going up regardless, right? You'll be risk free. And two, let's see, where else can we take advantage of? Yeah, 1540. So we have a level at 1525 and 1540. Those are our minor levels to the left there. So let's see what happens here. But understand that once price taps 1524, at that point your moving starts to break even no matter what price does here. So let's play it and see what happens. All right, there we go. We tapped it. Done. You're break even. You're risk free. This is now a risk free trade because again, no matter where price goes here, you're gonna see a tap or you're gonna see a top wick before driving down, and you're gonna see a bottom wick before driving up. If this were to be the bottom wick, you're good to go. You got runners. But if this is not a bottom wick, that's okay. You're break even. You took advantage of your ranges. You might close half. You might close more. I personally would have closed full or closed half. I don't know what we've done on stream, but let's say we close half and got runners, right? Let's see what happens now. The problem is now though, there's no bottom wick here. So you might see one more bottom wick. But again, you're not taking a second chance at this trade. Yeah, so you got out break even. You're out. But that was the idea, right? So now that you came up, you tap that level, you create a top wick, right? This now could be your liquidity that got formed to drive down, or this could be whatever. I don't know. But at this point, this is a very awkward zone, and within this awkward zone, I don't want to have anything to do with price here. I don't want to touch price. I don't want to take anything here. I just want to see what price prints next here. But that's the idea.
And why didn't you take it here and then why'd you wait? Just because?
Oh,
why'd you wait till it broke here?
There's no bottom wick here in this candle, and I would assume you need a bottom wick before coming up. And typically, whenever you have like a liquidity being grabbed, right, you will see it happen outside the range. So this is the range. You see how this is outside the range? I would wait for that to get tapped.
Okay.
That's about it though. Like obviously, in this case, chat didn't run, right? But not like things don't always run all the time. Sometimes price may just tap your advantage point and you're out, and that's okay. But there also could be times where price taps your advantage point and it flips the opposite way and it hits stop loss. Right, but at least both days, when you manage risk the same way, off of the same logical sense, you have a consistent 10 pips back to back to back to back. Up down one.
I just got a quick question. So you drew your range from top to bottom.
Yeah.
You have a minor range before your breakout initially for your bearish breakout.
Yeah.
Like go up some, go up, up, up.
Oh wait,
up.
sorry. Yeah, here.
No, keep it big. No. Right on price. Right. All right, let me annotate. So
Want me to zoom in?
No, right. Go up all the way up above this current range. Right. Go up to that next. Right there. Down.
Here?
I'm gonna annotate. I'm gonna annotate. Let me get my pencil. Right through here.
Yeah. Right there.
Right. So my question is, for clarification, I guess, when you're waiting for support, liquidity. So when this first bearish candle broke out of that minor support right there, what's the difference in the overall range versus that minor support there? Like, how did you know not to like take a buy time it? Like it came down, tapped the bottom of your range, correct, at 15.25. How did you not, like, in a sense, how did you know like this is not a liquidity grab? Is it because the candle's so bearish you had to wait to, like, I understand to the left over here you said that you was just waiting for a bottom wick, so I get your pivot point there or your advantage point there. But when it broke out of that minor range at 34, how did you know, like, yeah, it still should come up in a sense, or it should like drive back up?
Because
that's
look
not
left.
just a liquidity move.
Look left. Look at what happens. Look at what the traffic you have coming down afterwards. Like look where you go down towards. You see this one big massive candle or candles? You come all the way down towards 1492. That is a massive range. When you have massive ranges like that, you wouldn't just fill the range without grabbing liquidity. Yeah, you would probably see
Ah,
like
okay.
something like this first, like, you know, before driving down, worst case. But you wouldn't just see it driving like that. Very rarely you do. And if it does, going back to our back testing, we're like we said
Even if it does, it'll go back up and grab orders in order to come back down and drive further. Even if it does come down initially.
yeah, it's like we understand that even if it does drive through, we're not hunting. We're not hunting because we haven't had a top wick yet. So let's say it drives down here and it drives down for, what is this? It drives down for 300 pips. Fuck it. That it is what it is. I'm not looking to grab any piece of that range.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. If you back up 2 candles,
Yeah.
just reference, like, if you just erase those next 2 previous candles where we sitting at currently on price, would you be hunting or not hunting?
If
and I guess
I
that's
were
why
to
I'm
be here,
necessarily
would I
confused.
be hunting
Right?
here?
Yeah. Are we hunting right here?
Yeah, because you came down, and if it was like right here, I wouldn't hunt. Because it can still
Right.
tap
Because you're still
49
inside that
or
range.
still tap 24. But once it taps this level or this level, it's time to hunt. Right? And we started hunting. So like, okay, cool. Now that you came down, you closed respecting 1525, and buys were right there.
So I guess here's my question. These last 2 candles, if they're not there, we went straight to hunt mode, right? When it broke below the range, it gave us bearish momentum. It came and touched the bottom of the range. If the previous candle was bullish under any degree, are we looking for now an entry to go back up, and we just saying, okay, then touch this range, or you're not taking a trade unless it touches this particular area here?
Yeah, I'm not looking for anything until it taps that level, because that's a level where my entry comes in place. Like the first gray zones there, that's just this is like major levels, but to determine direction. But now that I have direction, this right here is just to determine entries. So I'll have my entries probably around here, where I had it. I wouldn't take anything. I wouldn't take anything.
If it don't touch that level, you're not taking a trade.
No. Or you could probably, like, if it comes close, you can probably take a position and take another pineapple once it actually taps the zone. But to be honest, like in this case, I think we just took an entry and that was it. And that was
okay. All right, that answers my question.
Yeah, man. Chat. Any concerns or anything else here? Anything else you guys want me to cover? Sounds like I'm gonna go back to what did he say? He said, oh, he said, only the real ones see what's happening. I'm gonna go back to inner circle. Hey, bro, go back to inner circle. I ain't stopping you from doing that, bro. Honestly, I'm not stopping you from doing that, man. Go ahead.
How long
I'm
you staying
over here
on?
trading celeries and pineapples and shit. It's goofy, anyways.
How long you staying?
Word. I wouldn't respect nobody. Oh, fuck. Bottom wicks?
Oh, wigs? Pineapples? Fuck.
Have you seen your RR?
Yeah. The risk to award is terrible.
So easy to catch 10 pips when you have a big account.
I'll come sometimes get in, but there's a clean range with no bottom wick after closure. What does that mean?
How long are you gonna stay?
I'm probably gonna hop off in like 5 minutes, to be honest.
I see what's happening.
I gotta get
I
ready.
see what's happening.
I gotta get my sharps taped. I got a hockey game later on. So, yeah, man.
How long it take you to
Why?
make
What's
that
happening, Wix?
What?
What's happening?
Nothing.
What's happening? Nothing. Yo, Sunday Unfiltered tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's all I gotta say. Market opens in 3.5 hours.
Wait, echo. I think mic's good, right? Mic's not fucked up, is it?
Fine.
That was fine.
Okay.
All right, I got to bounce, but I'll be streaming later today, anyways. So
It's a Sunday. You don't have a meeting.
All
I
right,
don't have a
bro.
meeting,
What
but
time is
I
stream
gotta hit
later?
the
5
gym.
p.m.
10:30 p.m. London. I don't know. That's in
That's
like
5 p.m. That's
yeah,
in 2.5
5 p.m.
hours.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, 2.5
I think
hours.
so. Approximately around there. All right. See you guys on Monday.
Take it
Peace,
easy,
man.
bro. I'll see you tomorrow.
Later, Ellis.
Yeah, see you.
I
Elvis
think.
went back to inner circle.
Uh,
Later, Ellis.
That's his meetings.
He goes over there and he tells them what he learned here. All right, guys, check this out. You ain't gonna believe this. Zucchini.
And they're all in the suits and they're like, oh,
They're like, what? Another vegetable?
Why don't you trade any other of the public brokers like Exness, IC? You mean like regular brokers? I am on a regular broker, Blueberry. And also, if you're trying to go at what I'm thinking you're going at, the trades are all done live on stream anyways. Like you can't really, you know, there's nothing really I can say aside from the fact that the trades are all on a stream. The whole 33 win streak. Do you think you could focus on one specific time frame like 30? We did. We used when I was drawing those candles out. I was using one time frame. I was using the 15-minute time frame because like
for trading overall.
There's no point of me focusing on one time frame because I don't even do that myself. I use every time frame, right? Like if I was using one time frame, sure, but I'm not gonna preach what I don't practice, right? It won't make any sense. I'm just teaching everything that I know, like, and that's it. If there's something I don't know, something that I haven't covered, something I don't do often, I'm not gonna teach you guys it because it's like, why would I do that? I don't have all the answers to that, right? I don't got the answers for it.
You ain't got the answers.
You ain't got the answers, right?
It's on my soundboard. That's funny.
What is your favorite time frame? Honestly, the 1530 to be honest. Like that's my favorite time frame, but just because I don't know. It's a 30 closure, NYC open. I don't know, it's just 30 15 time frame. Like I don't really have a favorite time frame, but I use those time frames quite often, I'll say, the most. Man. Let's see what else is in chat. Can you show us the strategies? You might gotta replay the entire stream today.
I mean, that was the whole point of being here. Like,
Oh, bro. Funny. I think that's it. I mean, what else can I really go through now? We kind of cover a lot. The only thing I didn't cover today was pineapples, but pineapples we can go over next week maybe. Yeah, this week was more of liquidity and advantage points, and yeah, I guess that all falls under liquidity. Next week we'll go over pineapples and maybe more stuff. But lots of shit today. I think that was a 2-hour stream. I have a question, but I might not know the answer. Sure, go ahead. Favorite beer? I don't drink beer, bro. Like, every time they offer beer in the hockey thing, the hockey room after the game.
that's wild.
Yeah, I just don't drink beer, bro. I don't know. I'm not grown enough to drink beer.
It's crazy. You see those commercials? They'll like drink Budweiser and go play like field hockey and shit.
Yeah,
or like,
yeah.
Or like
It's good for
Modelo,
you,
and then
right?
they'll go like fight. I'm like, yo, who the fuck wants who's in better shape after drinking a fucking
No, but
Modelo?
don't they say beer is good for after you play hockey because like all the carbs and all that shit just goes into
Nah,
No?
Nah, carbs are a killer.
Oh, word. I don't know.
But
I don't
like,
fucking know. It's
not
called beer league,
Gatorade,
bro.
not
Beer
water.
league.
Fucking yeah, you just finished playing a game of 5-on-5.
Fucking drink beer.
Go grab a fucking beer. Like what? At halftime. And then go back out there and fucking run.
Bro, they love beer, bro. They just be. I'm like, yo, I'm good, girl. Give me the bubbly sparkling water.
I'll take that root beer. I'll get that shit.
Wait till you come to London. You'll see the Brits. They love beer.
Oh yeah, Cam drinks like
Uh,
fucking beer.
When I was on
all day.
holiday, there was a bunch of Brits, and we was in like it was like 40 degrees.
Yeah, but you won't see fucking
And then
Chelsea
like-
in their locker room fucking, just
Yeah.
chugging down
You know,
pints.
they're
before
drinking
walking out.
prime, bro. That's what they're drinking.
That's true. That's true.
But the
So-
commercials be showing like, they'll do like 4 hours of mountain biking and grab a beer. I'm like, what the fuck was that all about?
Electrolytes.
It's
in
like
the
you
beer.
fucking work out, eat McDonald's after.
Oh no, this is diet. This is diet Budweiser. This is diet.
Diet beer.
All right, yo. I guess that's it for me. I'm gonna go play some Call of Duty.
Duty calls.
Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I didn't know you were a soldier.
So yes, sir. I've been going crazy on Call of Duty lately.
I didn't know you were in the military. It's crazy.
Oh man, you hopping on Wix?
No, I'm gonna go model.
Us, did you what? Us, did you get the
I'm
game
gonna
yet?
go model for Instagram.
I haven't even got it. I need to get it.
Oh, speaking about Instagram, bro. I had a migraine after making this.
I got a migraine after watching it. What the fuck?
Pay attention to the beat though. Like this part at the end was fire. This part.
Did you jump and click your feet? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Can you do a double click?
I can do it right now.
Do that shit on ice with ice skates.
Well, hold on.
When you score a goal.
Is the single click supposed to be hard or is it the two clicks supposed to be hard?
Someone clip this.
You gotta get the 2 clicks plus the 360.
Watch it, watch
The
it.
360 double click? What? Can you do the 360 double click?
Trick shot.
But you gotta do it on skates. He's gonna bust his ass.
This mental.
Huh?
Damn, he got that 4-inch vertical. Beast
Oh.
mode.
Yo, someone's like, yo, Don, do you box? Not gonna lie, those punches were clean.
Yeah, they
Wait.
I don't even
Say-
box.
They were clean, man.
Yeah, they were clean.
What we're gonna see is the stance and that punch.
They were clean, right?
Yeah, they're
It
good,
was actually a
man.
4. I had to cut it because it was only 0.2 seconds.
Doesn't Huss you box, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you box? I forgot.
Huss got hands.
Yes, sir.
How long you been boxing for?
PBS when we go box somewhere else, another trading group.
Oh.
All right. Me versus Huss.
Yo, what was with that gameplay last night, bro?
Oh fuck, bro. I was trying out new guns.
It's the thing. He's in the new apartment.
Wait,
so
you're
he's
in my
got,
lobby?
settings aren't there.
Yeah, I joined your game. You were it was like 3 minutes in, and you had like 20 something kills, and then I finished the game with more kills than you.
Whoa, word. I was fucking trying to snipe or unlock a new gun or some shit. Alright, yo. I'll see you guys on Monday, bro. I'm gonna hop on COD and get eat some food. I might go get burgers and some
we
shit.
gaming?
So. Yeah. Oh damn, there's burgers outside. Alright, yo.
What?
Good stream.
Yeah, bro. I'll see you guys.
Peace,
GG's,
boys.
everybody.
Give me a burger.
Peace out, dude.
Later.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Appreciate you guys. GG's. Alright, chat. That's it for me today. As you can see, a very good simulation. not simulation, very good education, education, what do you call this, webinar. I'll do more next week and coming weeks as well until the year ends, I'll say. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I think we covered a lot about liquidity and different angles of finding liquidity. That was the main topic of this stream. Next week we'll cover up pineapples probably. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. All right. I think tomorrow you have a pretty. Let me see what's up tomorrow. The 27th. You have no news tomorrow. Tuesday you have consumer confidence. Wednesday you have prelim GDP. Thursday you have core PCE price index, unemployment claims. Friday you have ISM manufacturing PMI. So you have quite a bit of folders this week, I'll say. It's just Monday that's chill, but I'll be there tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Peace out, bro. Take it easy. Sorry, their win streak to be continued. Later, guys. Peace out. Later, guys. Appreciate your mods.
We gon' kill a nigga, bitch.
Alright, hold on. Let me find a better song. That's funny. Let's go, that's how I feel on Sunday.
Hit me. Right in the sternum this time, T-baby. Shit, you already know. Damn. This that hustler music, young Weezy got that motherfucking hustler music. So ride to it, y'all, vibe to it, y'all. Damn. Goddamn, mix the hit a nigga in his head with this one. I'ma paint the city red with this one. I'ma hit with this one. See you fucking with the ball, 2 toys way before Christmas. No assistance, just that persistence with that commitment. If I don't get it, somebody gon' die tonight. I know my vibe is tight, and I deserve the throne. And if the kid ain't right, then let me die in this song. See, I be riding, just riding alone, with my daddy on my mind, like you gotta be kidding. How the hell you ain't here to see your prince do his thing? Sometimes I wanna drop a tip, but no emotions from a king. Shall be, so I be who I be, that's me. That's Weezy F, baby, and please say the motherfucking. So I be who I be, that's me. That's Weezy F, baby, and please say the motherfucking. Baby, you gotta know that I'm just out here doing what I gotta do for me and you, and we eatin'. So bitch, why the fuck is you trippin'? I'm taking these chances, my head to the sky, my feet on the ground, my fingers to the judge. If the money don't move, then I won't budge. No, I won't budge, no. Money is the motivation, facing the avenue, back touching the wall. Got the weed, got the gun, gotta run when I hear the bird call. Damn. Hop in that thing and murk off, swerve off. You know me, they call me Birdman Jr. Anybody murderer, if Birdman sponsor it. Phantom of the Opera, all black guap tent, locked in. I can let them shots out, you can't get no shots in. Bulletproof, leave a nigga with a bullet. She just wanna lick it. I don't know tryna care to know not a sim. Son, I want a whole lot of M&M. She talk about a nigga ain't real as him. I told her, hey, 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 girl, can you take it? Yeah, she take it, never run it, take it. Body right, fit this, more than a mistress. She made me miss it. She just wanna lick it. I don't know her whole name. I just met her one day, and I gave her a nickname, and I changed the whole scenery. For the one time, she can't stop calling me. She said she wants some young slime love. Pull up a game with the I ate those up. Yeah, pull up a game with the racks in the cut. She want me to take my chains. I said no, I'm in a rush. She told me to call my eye. She got surprise for me. Yeah, and she see that MG chain shining, and she see that YSL chain shining. I could tell the time when I walk her down and blinded me. Hope you know your bitch just left me. Yeah, she got on her knees, pussy.
Mark Bowman this year.
And the phone. I'm sick, she talking to me like that. I'ma get the money, let you niggas have the hoes. Just dropped the 6 in an hour, I got a show. I can smell a pussy nigga, it be rigging off they clothes. I'm wearing no white, forgot I bought her, I was blow. 7,000 all dubs, bout to spend it all on clothes. Off juice every day, I can't sleep without a pole. Go get you some money, the other shit getting old. Tryna play it like it's sweet, I had shit getting bold. He just got 2 bricks, he don't really know a low. Sipping cream sodas, I ain't fucking with Patron. Her head too good, got me changing in my tone. I sell anything but my motherfucking soul. On the road with some fire, I don't wanna go home. Back in high school, I was tryna touch and bow. I got a zip and a Glock in my motherfucking coat. I just put a deuce of walk in this little 24. But they know, you know, air off red, a good thigh pad. Shit, I ain't focused on these hoes, you will never really win. These bitches do whatever for some petty ass revenge. I'ma kick it with myself, everybody acting weird. Bitch, I drink lean on a motherfucking beer. About to put solitaires in my motherfucking ear. Old hoes on my line, heard I'm about to start a deal. I get a call from Rio soon as he get a seal. We gon' load that chopper when that shit getting real. Kick it with the clerk, I'm tryna work, let's cut a deal. No number on the bows, I can bang out a 0. Bitch, I hit the set and go to sex for my.
Back when I was hungry, they hit in my face and used to laugh. Family wanted and they stole from me, damn, that shit sad. I ain't wanna do it, but I still did, that shit bad. This shit getting to me, I just wanna take it all back. It feel like yesterday when mama told me, watch who you call friends. We forever straight, I promise you, I'll worry not again. Go see better days, I pray that we don't fall down again. If you do, I pick up you unless we all down again. My brother caught the case, niggas telling on they main man. Young niggas slanging cage, tryna catch a nigga lacking. Can't never change my ways, I'ma still be the same man. Please get the fuck out my way, got too much on my plate, I'm just tryna escape. I ain't never get the middle, my girl parked out in the drive-by. This shit getting deeper, and it's kinda hard to hide pride. This for all my people, gone but not forgotten, fly high. Just make me a promise, you won't never leave from my side. Back when I was hungry, they hit in my face and used to laugh. Family wanted and they stole from me, damn, that shit sad. I ain't wanna do it, but I still did, that shit bad. This shit getting to me, I just wanna take it all back. It feel like yesterday when mama told me, watch who you call friends. We forever straight, I promise you, I'm worried not again. Go see better days, I pray that we don't fall down again. If you do, I pick up you unless we all down again. Unless we all down again. Unless we all down again. I got you if you fall.
Peace out, chat. Love you guys.
Wanna fuck that bitch, should I call her kill tip? Yeah, that's it. That dick.
Yeah, big production, you
that
understand?
bitch. Fuck that bitch, should I call her kill tip? Yeah, that's it. I don't remember her name, but when I fought that bitch, that I called her kill tip. Yeah, that's it. With you, she got on all type of shit. With me, she got on the two bitch. And that's it. She like social work, count up kite, finna get the one that's fast with 2 seats. Yeah, that's it. Like social work, count up house, she finna get the one that's gas and jacuzzis. Yeah, that's it. I got 30 shots in this block, but I'ma give you a 2-piece. And that's it. She know I got plenty of dog.